Here we go.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Pounds of Gunt in beautiful, it's pixelated glory. Apologies again. My internet is always dog shit, as always. We're here. We're live. We are here to talk about Fastlane. Here to review the new Peacock streaming service. Oh, I still have my Gorduck pulled up. You gotta turn it off. Here he goes. Goodbye, Gorduck. We watched Fastlane. I watched watched it on the Peacock. And, the Peacock's alright. I was worried about it going in. I was figuring it was going to be dog shit. It doesn't have all the network content. It has most of the old pay-per-views still. I don't know if it has all. I know if it has all the old Raws and stuff. I don't know if it has any, I think it's got all the WWE and most of the WCW stuff. But it doesn't have, I'm not sure if it's
like the Nitro.
I didn't check if it has Nitro or not. I know it has some of the TV shows as well, but it's not a ton. I think it's got all the old NXTs and stuff, which it should, but most of it's, I think they're going to slowly roll things back into it. I think by the end of the year they said they're going to have everything on it, but I mean the actual player I think works just as well as the WWE Network, which is to say not great. It doesn't have the ability if you start the live stream later or whatever. It doesn't have the ability to play from the beginning, so if you miss something, you just miss it. You just miss it now. So
I don't know. That just seems embarrassing. It should be getting better. It shouldn't be getting worse. I don't understand why they can't just port over all the content. I understand it might take them some time to put the timestamps and shit in or whatever the fuck.
There's no timestamps at all on Peacock.
I mean, what the fuck? Do you know what I mean? It's like they're going to give you less. I guess you're paying less for it now.
It's the same
but
price.
You're getting less.
You're paying $9.99 for it.
Well, you can get it for $4.99. Can't you?
Then you have ads.
Jesus, I don't know. So it's the same price. You're getting fucking less. I can't subscribe to it as somebody outside of the United States.
Just a U.S.
even
thing. So, it's just a United States thing. So I mean, the network's still going to exist for people outside the United States, and they probably will have better. It'll probably be a better deal if you just want wrestling stuff. But I think
I think the UK is the only country that actually has the version of the network that you guys had, because our version of the network is a fucking scam where it's a cable channel that's $14.99. You have to have traditional cable to get it. You don't get access to the on-demand library. You only get access to a channel that will show like Table for Three fucking 8 times a fucking day, or the same fucking NXT pay-per-view 4 times in a row. It's shit. So I have no legal option to really watch WWE. They don't want my money. So I don't know. I might have to just fucking fire up a UK VPN and see if I can subscribe to that. I'll see how that goes.
I mean, I can give you an invite to PW torrents if you just want to download old content, but that may be your best bet for if you want to watch old shit. That's the
thing, because I was going through all the Nitros, and I was, I've been going about that quite slowly. But now I can't fucking pick up where I left off on it. I don't fucking know. It's kind of fucking rattling, to be perfectly honest with you. But
it's just like,
what can you fucking do?
I mean, if the Peacock worked and it was available in all countries, I'd say it'd be a good thing, because I think the idea. I mean, I'm doing this whole review. I don't want to give too much. I'm doing a whole review on all the streaming services, all the major ones, because there's been a shit ton that have come out in the last 2 years. There's HBO Max, Paramount Plus, and Peacock, fucking Disney Plus. You got all these new ones that are just coming. Is my mic too low? I mean, I can boost it quick. 1 second.
I don't know. They're all basically just offshoots being ripped out from Netflix, right?
Well, I mean, Netflix is going to be left with essentially just Sony movies. Essentially, it's essentially like the 5. There's like essentially 5 major media companies that make everything, and they all have their own streaming service now. It's essentially what it is. I have to imagine it has to be something along the lines of fucking, I don't know, like okay. So I think the thing is though, like, show content like the WWE Network, content like I think Crunchyroll and all these like specialty streaming services like the MLB Network and the NFL Network, and even ESPN Plus. I think all these should just get rolled into these bigger ones, because I think those ones are not going to be able to survive in this world of modern streaming services. I think WWE made a good decision in saddling themselves with a Peacock, or it would probably been better if it was Netflix or fucking anything really. But I think having just specialties bespoke streaming services is not going to be that's not going to be sustainable for a lot of these companies. And people who have built like their money on this are going to be up shit's creek without a paddle once things get bad.
I don't fucking know. I think that some of the specialty stuff, the people who are into it, and they're gonna fucking buy it no matter fucking what. You know what I mean? Like some of this shit, like Crunchyroll, people, that are into anime are gonna have Crunchyroll. UFC Fight Pass. I'm into UFC. I'm gonna have Fight Pass. I don't know. We'll see. Like I feel as though the big fucking huge streaming services that are paying out the ass for all of these fees for content licenses and stuff, they're going to get fucked by the oversaturation of the market. But these services that own their own content libraries, so there's no cost to them, and really all they're doing is just raking in subscription fees, I think they'll do fine. I think the opposite is true, actually, of what you said, that like Netflix might go under because, you know what I mean, or one of these HBO Max or Paramount Plus.
HBO Max will probably be fine because it's owned by Warner and they own most of the stuff that's on there already. Like almost everything, there's like basically nothing that's not Warner Brothers that's on there. So most of the content is just stuff that they already own. They're not really paying for much of anything, and they're not really making any exclusive content for it. It's just a place to watch the backlog of Warner Brothers movies. And the same thing with Paramount Plus, and Disney Plus. Like all of that is just shit that they own. They're not really paying for extra stuff. I mean, Disney paid for extra stuff when they bought Fox and Nat Geo. That's how they paid for it, essentially.
The issue is, instead of it being an additional revenue stream, they're having to cannibalize their theater business by putting this shit on HBO Max. That's the real issue, is they're cannibalizing that revenue stream, right? Well, because as it was just a bonus. But they have no choice because they're fucked. Because these movies can't be released and may never be released, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, that's why HBO Max, all those movies are coming out. I mean, I'm still going to go see Godzilla vs. Kong in theaters. It's the only movie I give a shit about this year. But, like, if I didn't, I would just watch it on HBO Max. It makes more sense. It's cheaper and you can watch it at home, But, no, I think
although Netflix I will say, like, with this...
I think Netflix is the one...
With the Snyder Cut, for instance...
Oh, you go ahead.
It was so compressed. Yeah, with the Snyder Cut on HBO Max, it was so fucking compressed. I didn't want to fucking watch it, so I fucking torrented the fucking thing. Yeah. I just said, fuck it, $15 get copy. But yeah, you said Netflix is going to fucking go under.
Netflix is the one that's going to be really fucked out of all of these. I think Disney, HBO Max, Paramount Plus, and I guess even the Peacock, they'll all be fine because all their content is shit they just already own. Basically, just like I said, it's the 5 major media companies that make everything that are already licensing stuff to Netflix. And so they just think, why license stuff to Netflix when you can just make this money with their own content? So that's why I think, WWE, they've got a shit ton of money to do this. But I think that these ones will be fine. Netflix and Hulu are the ones that are going to get their asses fucked really hard, especially Hulu. Netflix is just so ingrained that it may sustain, but Hulu is fucked.
Hulu's fucked. Netflix makes their own original shit, right? So some of that might carry people.
Like, I mean, like, there's, like, the occasional, I mean, like, Cobra Kai and Queen's Gambit was, like, the ones last year, but the amount of stuff that people care about coming out from Netflix goes down every year. Like, it's usually dog shit, so.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, the era of when they had, like, House of Cards come out, I was into House of Cards, but by the 3rd season, it was just a disaster.
No, House of Cards
really went off the rails.
Really bad, but what can you do? I mean, it's the future of all media is going to be these streaming services, whether we like it or not. It's just going to be what we have. But the question is which ones are going to succeed, which ones are going to fail. And you may be right that this bespoke ones may work fine. The question is how much a server cost is going to cost, and as they have to update, like software stuff. I mean, when WB Network upgraded their software last year, they probably cost them an ass load, and they're going to have to do it again eventually. And by then, hopefully, they'll have someone else do that for them.
Yeah,
but the actual streaming,
and the issue,
the quality was fine on Peacock, and it worked. It wasn't a problem. I think people were worried about it because from watching the back catalog stuff, it's been apparently pretty difficult. And I went back and watched WrestleMania X7. It looked really fucking shit. Like it was blurry and had a ton of pixelation the whole time. But just watching it on the live stream actually worked totally fine. I was behind. There was a delay behind your probably would. You watched it on a legal stream or something? You watched it on timeout or some shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like a minute behind you. Yeah. So I was a minute behind what you were getting because you were messaging me about Retribution breaking up and like I hadn't even gotten to the end of the match. It's just like
what a disaster.
Fucking great job, Peacock. So
how can you be behind the illegal stream? Like what the fuck?
Yeah, probably
that's just retarded.
Bailey was not on the show, SMG. We're not talking about Bailey. She wasn't on the
Holy
show.
fuck. This guy has such a boner for fucking Bailey. I don't know what to do with him.
He called
You
into
know?
my fucking shitpost stream on Friday and like jerked her off for like 20 minutes. He took her big clitoris out of her pants.
What was his argument? It was like that
she's the greatest female wrestler of all time and she's got a hot Latino ass.
What?
She's the greatest female wrestler of all time. She's like, Bailey versus Sasha Banks was the greatest women's match of all time, and I need to bow down and submit to Bailey.
Bailey and Sasha Banks at NXT TakeOver, this match that they were plan out for fucking months, you know, in order to make it just perfect. But yes, we all need to bow down to
we
that.
Do.
I don't know.
No, he BTFO'd me so hardcore. He just came in and steamrolled me. So he's right. Bailey is the greatest female wrestler.
Well, you know, like when you're obsessed with something to the point that you know all the ins and outs of it and you just think it's a masterpiece, where everybody else that's normal doesn't give a fuck or thinks it's shit, then I guess you're going to steamroll people, right? I don't know what to say.
No, he's a winner, really. Bound down to the Queen Bailey. Anyways, let's get into Fastlane, and then we'll maybe touch base. I want to talk about the New Japan Cup Finals, too, because I watched that. And that...
I don't know. We might cover some of AEW this week. AEW is kind of flat this week. There wasn't a whole lot.
There was a great MJF promo, but that was kind of about it. I didn't watch the women's... Everyone was raving about the women's main event. Didn't fucking watch that shit. I just quit watching it.
Fuck.
We started chugging water balls, and it was St. Patrick's Day, so we just went out and started drinking, bro. We got our game on. It was awesome.
Oh, did you get laid, buddy?
No! You crazy? You fucking idiot. You never getting laid?
Bro, like, how drunk were the bitches at the bar? You couldn't just grab one and just fucking take off with her?
No, the bar, we went to the VFW, so just a bunch of old dudes. It was awesome.
Oh, shit.
We live right down the street from the VFW, so we can just go down there and grab a $2 rum and coke and just have a good night.
Oh, fuck. All right, so I watched, actually, the kickoff show. I gotta say, like, the kickoff show panelists piss me off. I'm not really, like, into this weird bald Jewish guy or, these women.
Peter Rosenberg sucks. They've gone through now, I believe, at least 3 of these Mexican-looking women. First it was Dasha, who left and went to AEW. Now Charlie Caruso is fired. Apparently she's going to ESPN. So she made a fucking... Honestly, good for her, making some real money.
Lucked out.
She got lucked out. Now there's this new one. There's this new, and then there was Renee before that. And now this new one. It's like, I can't keep track of all these people. Like, man, I don't know who the fuck this person is. She's not that good.
I don't know. Like, the way they talk about it, like, it I don't know, it could work, but it comes across very cringe. Like, they're trying to preview it like a real sports event, but then it like, they try and have, like, conflicts and arguments.
This is my shucky ducky quack quack moment of the night. Listen, Booker T was based in it. You can't deny Booker T was so based. He's so fucking retarded. He's so insane. Like, when he talks, like, he's my only part I enjoy from it because he's so retarded. But he also makes the whole thing fall apart when he talks.
No, he does, because the other people don't know what to, like, they can't carry that same level of energy or anything, right? So he just, like, stands out as this loon, you know? And that, like, if they could get, like, Booker T, Scott Steiner out there, fucking, you know?
Yes! Yo, they should get,
Goldberg.
Because they're not the main event mafia anymore. It's the pre-show mafia. Get them back, the old TNA group.
Get Kurt Angle out there.
Kurt Angle, Scott
Samoa
Steiner,
Joe.
Booker T, Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe's just a commentator anyway, so they can just get them all 4 out there and be like, what we got, guys? Welcome. This is the pre-show mafia.
It would be way better. I don't know. Like, they have all these legends on contracts, right? Why? Like, where's Nash? Put Nash out there. You know, what about Scott Hall? Does he need a fucking job? I don't know. What if you put Nash and Hall out there, Booker T? Something, give me something. But anyway, it doesn't really matter because you don't have to watch the pre-show. But we got on the pre-show, somewhat noteworthy.
No, it was
Matt Riddle.
It was just Riddle
versus Ali.
It's just Riddle.
Oh, it's Riddle.
It's Riddle, and they gave Mustafa his first name back. So it's Mustafa Ali versus Riddle for the U.S. title. Riddle wins. And what I would consider to be a weak match, I think Ali's a terrible heel wrestler. His whole gimmick is that he's a high flyer. I don't think he's a good enough ground gamer to work a slow heel style in a WWE. Like, I think he's a bad heel. I think he would be a better babyface, and he just because of the way he works his style. But and he didn't do a great technical mat wrestling match with Matt Riddle, which is pretty hard to do because he's an actual fucking shoot UFC guy. So I thought this made Ollie look like total dog shit. Made Matt Riddle look like total dog shit, but he just does that to himself because he's fucking terrible now.
His gimmick is fucked. His gimmick is fucked.
He has the same problem R-Truth does, and even Dean Ambrose did to an extent in the Fed, where they're funny. Matt Riddle can be a naturally funny person, and the way he talks is pretty funny. So because he can be funny sometimes, that's all he does, is just be comedy man. That's all he can fucking do. And it's a problem.
Yeah.
So it's like R-Truth's like a fucking awesome actual wrestler, and he was really good for a long time. He's older now, but same thing with Dean Ambrose, where like they just made him become the comedy guy while he was there because he was slightly good at it.
Yeah, but I mean, look at it. Like Rock and Austin could be funny, but they weren't treated as comedic guys. Like Rock could be really funny, but he wasn't a fucking joke. Right. I don't know. It's not to say that Riddle is fucking some like God's gift or whatever, but he could be used a lot better. Like, I don't know, when I first was seeing Riddle in NXT, or Matt Riddle, as he was called, I liked him, and I thought there was potential. I've never really liked that he doesn't wear shoes, but whatever. MMA guys don't wear shoes. It is what it is. But now it's like, fuck, they're just really, like, later on in the show, the segment with them where, bro, dude,
check out my scooter. Nah, scooter, bro. Yeah.
Bro, I'm high, bro. Whoa. I don't know. It was fucking pretty lame there. So the Retribution breakup. I was saying to you, and
on the pre-show,
I was saying to you, and I thought in my head as I saw them come out with Ali, I say, hasn't this run its course? Like, how do these guys still have fucking jobs? Like, I thought this is like months overdue. I thought they broke up months ago. But, Vince heard me. He answered my prayers and fired all of them. I think they're all probably never going to be seen again. I mean, people have faith that they'll follow up on this storyline. My belief is that we'll never see Slapjack or T-Bar or the fucking stupid bitch ever again. They're going to be sent off to fucking catering or developmental, never to be seen again.
Yeah, I hope so. You know what? I hope I had high hopes for Mace. We're fucking, Dio Madden. I thought he had a chance to be something. Maybe not on the top level, but I always liked the guy. Because he's a black otaku guy. He was on Super Best Friends Play or some shit. So he's from our corner. He's from the weeb corner of the internet. I figured maybe we'll do something with the guy. Maybe one day. And he's huge. Both him and Dominic Dijak are huge fucking dudes. They're huge and they're athletic and they can do cool moves. But
there's some fucking crazy fucking idiot driving along.
No, that was a cop.
Was it a cop?
Yeah,
a cop.
Jesus. All right, well, we'll see how that goes. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Fuck. You think they might be able to salvage Mace, but I don't know.
They could salvage Mace and Dijak. I guess let's call him fucking Brendan Williams, Dio Madden. They could definitely salvage Dijak. Dijak's the kind of guy that like. He's a top level blue chip guy. He was always in this fucking stupid mask. You just take the mask off him, give him like a normal face. He completely rehab himself because he's a huge guy who's super athletic and has good charisma. Same thing with Mace. They both have good.
If it's 6 months or a year or whatever the fuck. I mean, remember like there was Skip Sheffield in the Nexus. They brought him back as Ryback, and he got over as Ryback.
Yeah, same thing. That's kind of what I'm thinking.
Husky Harris became Bray Wyatt.
Well, we'll go into that later.
Yeah, we'll get into that later. Yeah, that's a huge success nowadays.
Huge success. Exactly.
Huge success. Oh, fuck. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Just fire him. Just fire him. Fire fucking Ace. Just fire him. Fire them all.
Just get rid of them. They're never going to work.
Just get rid of them. Fuck them. Fuck them. They all suck dick anyway. There's so many talented guys sitting in fucking catering anyway. Like, holy fuck. Oh, shit. Anyway, that was fucking the pre-show.
No. Mia Yim will probably get a job still. I think she's probably the only one that's going to actually be on TV still because they need relatively good women's wrestlers, and she's probably one of the better ones they have now. Like, who's going to face Asuka at Mania? Charlotte? And who's going to face that after that? They go back to Charlotte and Asuka again forever until we die? I
don't know. I don't even know why Mustafa Ali has a job, to be honest. Like, I feel like they have so many guys who does what he does. Like Ricochet does what he does way better than what he'll ever do. You know what I mean? So I just don't fucking see value in Ali. Like, you got an Alistair Black, who's way better than Ali. And surely Gotti's more marketable.
I think he's gone. I think he's injured or maybe on his way
Is
out.
he fucking, he's fired forever? Like, Jesus
I think,
Christ.
well, they fired his wife, so he may just not ever come back.
I don't know. Bit of a wasted potential with him. He seemed to be all right from what I had saw of his
He
work.
was awesome.
But,
he was great. Oh, SMG was asking if we watched. A couple people were actually asking if we watched the NWA show today. I did not watch the NWA show today. Did not have time.
No.
I had to clean my house all day, and then I watched the WWE show, and that was it. I probably would have liked watching the NWA show. It probably would have been good, but didn't watch it.
Okay, so the pay-per-view kicks off with a match I didn't watch, which was the women's tag team match. I kind of went off to the store or whatever the fuck.
Let's just not talk about it. Fuck it. I don't want to talk about it. It was bad.
It went 20 minutes, apparently. I came back. I saw the end of it. It went 20 minutes, which was insane. And there was like a fucking Bianca Belair got slapped by Sasha Banks.
It was so fake and so fucking corny and shit. And it's just like, this is your WrestleMania build-up. You know what I bet? I bet this is going to main event night one, this match. They're going to give the women one of the main events this year. There's the 2 nights. This is the one that's going to main event night one. I guarantee it. This is going to go on.
They can't do it.
Lashley, McIntyre's going to get sidelined for this match.
No, no, they can't do that.
They're going to do it. They're going to do it.
They can't.
Well, you know what?
It's unacceptable.
Bianca won the Royal Rumble, and Edge won the other one. So the 2 main eventers, the 2 Royal Rumble winners, are going to main event both nights. That's going to be how they swing it. Where she's going to main event the first night.
Okay, but that's the belief that the women's Royal Rumble is actually a Royal Rumble and not just a sideshow. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
So
the women's division is just a sideshow, PP, but it's gonna main
it's
event.
like that stipulation about the main event. I mean, holy fuck! I mean, that stipulation was dead for me forever when Sheamus won in 2012 and was the fucking opening match. So who gives a fuck at this point? Just do whatever makes sense. I just don't see like these like Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks being a main event of WrestleMania.
Okay,
it just can't be so.
It's WrestleMania 36, right? Or is it 37? Yeah, it's 37.
37.
Okay, you Google WrestleMania 37. You know what comes up? Edge versus Randy Orton. What's on the poster? WrestleMania 37 poster. Guess who's in the front of the poster? Because I've seen this poster a dozen times now. Here we go. The poster, the 2 people in the front. So you see
Roman Reigns.
And Sasha Banks is right next to him. They're the 2.
I don't know.
They're the 2
you
in
got
the front.
Roman is front center. Drew's just in behind him with a Claymore. Lashley's off back in the side. I don't know. I guess you could be right. I just hope not. I hope that they have some fucking common sense and decency with what they're doing with McIntyre. There's no reason to fucking sideline McIntyre or Lashley in this way and treat them so disrespectfully. I mean, the reality is, how over is Sasha Banks? I don't think she's over for shit. I don't know. Does she sell merchandise?
Listen, PP, this is the year of women. March is Women's Month, but this is actually the year of Black women. This is their
Where is
year.
Charlotte Flair at? Like, did she just fucking disappear from existence, or
wasn't there a women's title match on this show? Wasn't there supposed to be like Asuka versus someone? What happened? Is Asuka still the champion?
Is Asuka the champion? Is there a Raw Women's Champion anymore, or? I don't know, because there's all that stupid bullshit with Lacey Evans and Ric Flair, and then that all got fucking derailed because Lacey got pregnant. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing.
Well, Lacey got pregnant? Well, good for her. You know what? Fuck it. That's a good thing. You know, she should be getting pregnant. Good for her.
Well, the story was she was getting pregnant, and then she got shoot pregnant. So that, I don't know.
Well,
it was fucking retarded.
That's good, actually. I'm happy. You know what? I mean, Charlotte's not that fucking great, so that's good for her that she's getting pregnant and she's going to be happy. I'm happy for her. That's nice. She's going to ruin her life by wrestling. She's going to ruin it by having a child.
Oh, shit. Okay. So that's the fucking women's bullshit. I didn't really watch it, so I wasn't too fucking pissed off.
I don't care.
So then it went into what was it here? Oh, they showed Shane limping, right? They showed Shane limping.
Oh, the fucking... I don't care. It was stupid.
why does Shane need TV time? And like Shane has never been a great heel. So I guess Shane is playing the heel in this storyline, but he's so much smaller than Braun and like so much weaker than Braun. And he's like 50 years old. I don't know. Like he seems to
Why
me like
is
he'd be the
Shane wrestling?
I don't know. Because he wants to. Because he wants to. I don't know. I don't think it's good for business. I think
I agree.
like
It's
all
terrible.
the goodwill that Shane had when he first came back has been obliterated by now.
It's gone in the wind.
It's gone. He did have goodwill when he first came back. People were happy to see him, but now it's like go away for another 10 years.
Please,
I don't know. I don't.
come back.
He's just not the character worker his father was to be like an authority figure or anything like this, you know. And his in-ring work, I mean, shit is Shane. Like it's not amazing or anything like that. So then we had a match I was really excited for, which was Big E versus Apollo Crews. It was the big black bull off. It was amazing.
The Nigerian accent. The Nigerian prince. I am Apollo Crews, and I am the Nigerian prince. I am the leader of my people. We will deliver us. He's just
and he's like, I thought the video package leading into this was really good.
It was funny.
It was really good. It was like he's like, I am the tribal king. I am, so it got me thinking of the dream match, which is Apollo and Roman. If they were to build Apollo right, and they have the Nigerian chief against the fucking Samoan chief and they fucking clash, that's something I want to see now. But look, I feel like they want to push Big E here as the bigger star because he's been in the New Day and this is their time to push him to the main event.
Yeah.
But Apollo has the better gimmick and the better character work right now.
And he's a better wrestler and he's got a better physique.
I mean, Big E does have a fucking huge chest. It's huge, but I don't know.
Apollo's got those abs. He's ripped.
He has those abs. He's got fucking the biceps there. These men were really turning me on. I'm watching this. This is the sort of wrestling I want to see. Just these two big black powerhouses colliding. And, but I wanted to see Apollo go over, because I think that maybe if they gave Big E Apollo's gimmick, it would work better. Maybe, I don't know. But maybe Apollo has that gimmick.
I got it. Apollo can recruit Big E into him and they can become the tribal warlords together and they just
become a nation of dominations type faction.
Do you remember what Apollo's indie name was? You ever know what his indie name was?
No.
It was Uha Nation. That was his independent.
Okay.
Call it the Uha Nation. Him and Big E.
The Uha Nation.
The Uha Nation.
It could be amazing. It could be like the best tag team.
We are the Uha Nation. We are fighting for our brothers, and we will deliver us. The tribal goal.
What did they ever do with Akam and Rizar? Did they fire them?
They're fired, yeah.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck are we doing? Those guys were amazing. Can you imagine those two against Akam and Razar in a tag match? But again, like they're just fucked. They just don't know what they're doing. They're just clueless as fuck. Those two were so talented.
Well, Authors of Pain as a tag team really only worked with what's his face as their manager. I always thought with because they had the Road Warriors manager as their manager. I forget.
Yeah.
But when they had a manager, it worked way better because they were no good on the mic. But when they had like an evil guy manager, it was awesome.
Who gives a fuck? I mean,
they would have been great they would have been great muscle for Roman Reigns right now. They would have been great as muscle for Reigns.
They put him with Rollins, who was the worst guy to put them with. It didn't fit at all, and it didn't get them over at all.
No.
And it was really frustrating for me because I really thought that those guys were talented. I really did. But anyway, this match, it starts off amazing. Big E hits him with a fucking spear. It's high impact. They're fucking suplexing each other. Apollo hits a fucking frog splash at one point. Apollo hits a standing moonsault at one point. And this is like, these are big men that can fucking work and are athletic.
I mean, this match is Apollo forever. Like, he's been able to do this shit so long, but now it's you gotta make it click. You gotta give him a good character to make it click. And now he has that character.
He has that character, and and then what the fuck? 5 minutes in to this match that's fucking building to something, and I'm excited. they do a fucking botched finish. I don't know if it was botched or what was going on, but it was like a double roll up. Both shoulders were down. It looked fucked. Nobody knew who won. And then Apollo beats him down after, and Apollo gets, I guess, his heat back. But it hurt me because I felt like Apollo should take the IC title here because the story was he lost twice already, couldn't get the opportunity, turns heel to get the opportunity, and then still loses. And I feel like it makes him look shit. And he's probably going to lose at Mania again.
I don't know if he'll lose at Mania. I think maybe he should win at Mania, but I think they're going to do the match again. I think in the long run, they're going to do this match again at Mania. This was probably an intentional fuck finish. We hate to say this, it looks stupid, but that's probably it was probably supposed to look stupid so that you fucking question the results, so that Apollo still doesn't lose all his heat. But the one thing it is, this match will happen at Mania. It'll probably be really good. There'll be a clear winner, and we'll forget this match ever happened in the grand scheme of history. The truth is, I mean, I'm right. They're going to have probably a pretty great match at Mania, hopefully, and then this will just be a footnote in history, is what's going to happen. And it's shitty tonight, but in the long run, it's the right finish. It's the dusty finish. You got to. For some reason, they're doing the match now. I don't know why, but
I would have done a cheap heel win for Apollo to put the belt on him, and then have Big E, who's their babyface, get it back at Mania because they obviously want to push Big E to the next level. I don't think they've committed to Apollo. I think Apollo is going to lose this feud in the end of the day. That's what I think, because I think that they're focused on this idea that Big E is going to be a top guy. He's going to be feuding with Roman or something like this. Now, maybe they'll take the belt off of Big E at Mania and then put him with Roman or somebody else. I don't know.
That's what they did with Lashley. I mean, that's what they did with Lashley and fucking Riddle just a couple months ago, and now he's got the title. I think they're going to do the exact same thing. Like, it's the exact same formula for both guys. Lashley had the U.S. title for a long time, and then he lost it to some guy who's on the up, but then he moved immediately into the main event, and it didn't matter that he lost because he was immediately in the main event. I think the same thing's going to happen here. I think he's probably going to lose to Apollo at Mania, but then immediately going to challenge Roman after Roman wins or whatever. Or if Edge wins, he's going to immediately challenge Edge. It's going to be one of those two. But
we'll see. I don't know. I know this will probably be rectified. They will have a good match in the future, but tonight we could have used this match. We could have used this match, because some of the shit that happens is really fucking piss poor.
It would have been nice to have a good match on this show when
Well, we did have some good matches, but
what was next? I gotta pull up my list of shit that happened. Hold up.
Old Spice commercial. It was the Old
Spice
was
the keynote. This was the keynote of the show.
This was some bizarre shit.
Where is our truth? Where is our tooth? Where is our tooth? And then it's fucking David Bugenhagen or whatever, Eric Bugenhagen in the fucking Old Spice outfit. And he's like, I don't know where our truth is. And then they rip his shirt off and it's like the Night Wolf or something. I don't get it. I don't know what the fuck this is. I don't know who the fuck these people... I know who R-Truth and Akira Tozawa. I know who those guys are. And he's like this ninja. And I'm glad they're just being racist towards this Asian dude. It's so cool to see them making the Asian guy just a retarded ninja cartoon character. It's excellent, because at least he's getting paid, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, does it? Who is the?
I don't know. I thought this shit was really embarrassing. I thought it was really shameful. This is like when they had the deadliest fucking catch shit at WrestleMania 28 with Santino and Mick Foley fucking smashing the crabs with the puppets, or this is fucking having the Mountain Dew sets that they would have, or this fucking weird shit that they'll do from time to time, or the KFC, I think it was Battle Royal,
the KFC bucket match where I was at that TLC when it was fucking it was the Viking Raiders and some other team, and they put the team through the bucket of KFC to win, and it was just
my fuck,
God, it was so great.
It's just like a retarded level product placement, cringe comedy segment. I don't know, if I was high and I wasn't drinking coffee and energy drinks today and I was stoned out of my mind, I probably would have laughed at it. But as it was, I was a bit baffled and confused as to what the fuck was happening. And I think it makes the product look cheap and shitty a little bit.
It does.
I don't know. It really does. Like, some of the shit tonight was so embarrassing that I was saying to myself, holy fuck, like, what is worse? Like, we're going to get into the big question. What is worse, the Alexa Bliss match or the exploding ring botch from Revolution? I don't know. But, like, this also was on the level of that for me. It's like, what the fuck?
This was the only here's a couple differences between both. I mean, we'll just wait till we get to that match and then we'll talk about it. I don't want to jump the gun.
Yeah. But this was like a nothing segment. It's like, it's not as big of a deal because it's a nothing comedy segment.
Right, it's just something that happens. It just retarded, but it was baffling and confusing, so I didn't know what was going on. So that's why it's interesting to talk about, because I didn't know what the fuck happened. Next, the greatness that was, let's see, Shane McMahon introduced Elias for a concert. You know, I feel bad for Elias. I like this dude. I liked his gimmick back in the day. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was fun enough. You know, it's like, it's just a guy who plays the guitar. Like, he pisses people off when he's out there. Because, you know, you pay to go see a wrestling show and you see a guy playing guitar. It's the gimmick, and then you get mad at the guy. And here he's just getting squashed by Strowman for a feud that, like, doesn't matter. You know, it's like, I don't care, but, like...
It's weird. Like, Elias's position on the cards is really weird. Because I don't know how many matches I've ever seen him win, but he's always in there with somebody that they consider to be a star. Like, he's always in there with stars.
Yeah, he was in there with
jobs to them.
He was in there with John Cena at WrestleMania that one year. The last one that they ever had, the one that I went to in New York. That was when Thugonomics Cena came out and fucking gave him the FU. It was
so he gets like these moments where, like, Vince treats him, like, puts him in a position on the card where he's with main eventers, but it's only there to make the other main eventers look good and, like, get squashed by them. So it's, I don't know, like, it's a weird position for him. But he gets a lot of TV time.
I think it's getting him over with me personally. Like, I enjoy seeing him. Maybe because whenever I see him, he's in a segment with a star. So maybe it makes him look better. I know it's a retarded psychology, and they've done that before with, like, you know, other guys say, oh, you're in there with Triple H, that'll really get you over. But he's been in there with, like, The Rock and fucking John Cena and Stone Cold and shit. So...
Well, people see him, and so, I don't know, like, in Vince's eyes, I think he looks at him a lot better than he looks at a lot of other guys. And he has, like, some sort of vision for him, but it's not like as like a main event guy. It's like as a jobber to the stars type enhancement guy that gets a lot of TV time. I don't know what's going on in his mind, but he's got like an interesting spot, you know?
Yeah.
But here he just gets squashed, as he should, by Braun Strowman. It was really quick. It was kind of pointless.
Just to build a feud with him and Shane, just a storyline, nothing match, so they can get footage for the promo package for Mania for him versus Shane, which you know, they gotta do what they gotta do. Seth.
And they had
Seth. I mean, I guess
not yet. It was Riddle last title with Shinsuke and the scooter, and he's like, "Bro, let me tell you about my business, dude. Bro, I got this great
scooter
idea.
With Skeeter, my scooter, and then my hip in the Skeeters, and he walked around like you do, and the Nos and the bro,
dude, weed Lamau, bro." I don't know. It was fucking very cringy segment. Made me wish that they would fire Riddle. Honest to God, at this point, same. I just don't want to see that. And then we go into Shinsuke, like, is in these retarded comedy segments for whatever reason. Like, the guy I don't think ever should have left New Japan, but he doesn't give a fuck because he's getting paid.
He's like, WWE was his retirement plan, essentially. Like, he's just cashing his checks. He already had his career. He already had his wrestling career. This is his golden years. He's winding it down. He's not working hard. He jobs out. He gets his pay-per-view paycheck. And then he goes home and he surfs and he's happy. And you know what? I don't want to see him on TV. But you know what? I can respect the hustle. I can respect the guy hustling Vince to get him some money. He signed that big fucking contract when he first get it. I think he re-signed again right when AEW started. So because he probably says, "Oh, I read for AEW and I make big money there. You give me big money," and Vince gave him the big money to stay until he hustled him.
Yeah,
you gotta respect the hustle.
I'm sure
like
he's
fucking
making,
honky tonk, man.
He's making great money in the biggest wrestling company on earth, and did he ever actually win the WWE title?
No,
Has he ever actually been the world champion? So
no.
I don't know. He didn't get that, and he never will. But he got to be in a WrestleMania match with AJ Styles that sucked cock, and that's pretty much the most memorable part of his whole career, really, in WWE.
Yeah,
but tonight he's in there with Seth.
They had a match.
They had a match.
I didn't really think it was bad, but I didn't think it was particularly good either. Just thought it was kind of there. I could even say that I didn't like it. I didn't care for it.
That's how it was. I mean, the thing is, the match is fine, but they could do a lot more, these two guys. If they were given time and a proper story and they were motivated, these guys could give you a 4-star, 4.5-star match, but they're not motivated. Seth's character is, I don't even know what the fuck they're doing with Seth. Shinsuke, it's even more confusing, and the characterization is so muddled. I thought he was a heel. Last time I watched him, wasn't he a heel?
He was a heel.
But now he's a face again. I get really tired of like these endless alignment swaps for certain people. It's starting to feel with Shinsuke like he's a Big Show or something.
He is the new Big Show. Shinsuke Nakamura is the Big Show.
It's not good. It's not good. The match was fine as it was, but I think when you put Seth Rollins and Shinsuke on a card, you're expecting them to go 20 minutes. They went like 10 minutes. It was just a simple match. And Seth won with a curb stomp. You don't even let Shinsuke hit his finisher. I don't know if that makes him more credible or not. People are complaining they should have let him hit the Kinshasa, but then if Seth kicks out of it, I mean, it makes it look like shit. So they're like, well, what if he did the Kinshasa rolling to the floor? I don't fucking know. Who really cares anymore with this shit?
Why the fuck who's complaining about this? Like, fuck off. There's more things to complain about. Like, there's more things on Twitter and shit.
Oh my god, Shinsuke's been buried. He's been buried for years, motherfucker. Like,
he's total buried. You know what? I didn't see that on Twitter anymore. I saw one of the Game Grumps is apparently a racist. That's what I saw on the Twitter today. That's what I was
fuck.
That's awesome.
Who gives a shit?
I do. I think it's funny.
You do, eh?
I do think it's funny. I think it's funny. Game Grumps rapist.
All right. We had what's probably the best match of the show up next.
Yeah, this is a good Haas match. 20 years in the making. I thought that their matches they've had before were actually a little bit better than this one. I thought this one was pretty good. But I like the ones they had before that were just in the ring better. I think these guys are so big and hossy, they don't really need to go do the brawl outside and like fall off the Thunderdome shit. I mean, it's fun, but they really don't need to do that for me to enjoy them just hitting each other over and over again. But I thought it was fun. Good looking match. These guys can probably have like great matches until they die together. So
the video package, set it up well.
Yeah.
Established the story. These guys, I would have almost liked them to take like a nationalistic aspect to it of Scotland and Ireland even more. But the only thing about it that I thought was off was like Drew dressing like fucking Braveheart, the Braveheart face paint. It's so over the top now. It's one thing to have the guy fucking wear a kilt, but then it's another thing to give him a fucking Claymore sword, and then another thing to just fucking now completely paint his face blue. It's so stereotypical. I get he's Scottish. We get that he's Scottish. What more? Is he going to come out with bagpipes next?
Yes. Bagpipes, laddie. Gotta bring the laddie. Oh, yeah. No, if this would have worked if Sheamus came out in like traditional Irish garb and his fucking kilt, and he came out in the Irish face paint, the Irish flag, like his like fucking family crest painted on his face or whatever, and he had like a fucking lance or like a pole arm or something. He was like, Ireland, and like it was like a true like battle of the countries. That would have been cool, and then it would have been like a fucking.
And then you have the friendship story on top of it, and look. I would have liked to see this program placed anywhere in the year but here. Yeah. Because anywhere else in the year but here, you could almost believe, and if they had built Sheamus for a few months, because Sheamus can be built back to being a world title contender, and they did this maybe at a SummerSlam or something like this, it would have meant more. And these guys can work together. It's not to say they couldn't do it again, but now we've seen it maybe 4 or 5 fucking times.
Yeah.
And
Well, I've
so
only
now
seen
it's
it
starting to
twice
get it's
because I don't
getting to
watch
be a
Raw that
bit
often.
it's getting to be a bit fucking much with this particular match. But that being said, they have great chemistry together. I think Sheamus is really underrated with his work. I think this match goes to show that Sheamus is really underrated with
He
his
is,
work.
yeah.
And also their character work together in the match, I think, was great as well.
Yeah.
This is one of the two matches on the card where I really liked the character work, and it made sense for each character to behave the way they were behaving in the match, and the moves and the way it told a story of these two guys going back and forth and beating the shit out of each other, and who was tougher and who
Yeah.
deserved that spot in the main event. I liked it a lot. The only things I liked the fucking, the marks on the back, especially on Sheamus.
Yeah.
It looked fucking great.
There's a reason.
But
I
the
mean, like that.
match,
When he looks pale, he looks like a goof and anything. But when he's wrestling, you get those red marks, and it's like you can only do it if you're super, super pale. But when a wrestler does that, he should keep that pale look. And it was a good contrast to McIntyre, who's all tanned up, so it doesn't look like he's getting hit as much. You know, it's just. I really like this, and you're right. But the thing is, I wish like
it
every
needs
match
blood.
on the show was like this. I wish that
It needs blood. This match
you're
needed
right.
blood, in my opinion.
It didn't need
It
blood.
needed blood. It needed to go to that next level because this match could have been close to a 5-star match if they tightened it up a little bit, maybe made it 5 minutes shorter, but focused more on some near falls in the end sequence,
And made it more
and tightened it
brutal
and more brutal, more hard hitting. Like, I think the model for me right now is like Lesnar and Goldberg, but stretch it to 15 minutes with these guys. Like, high impact, fucking badass dudes doing badass shit, brawl around a bit, fucking get the juice, get the blood, either on McIntyre or Sheamus or both,
Right.
And then fucking the match would have been way better, but I still think it is almost like I think it's like a 4-star match or better on this show.
For sure. Especially for like WWE standards. Like this is really, really, really good. And especially because of the character work. I think the actual wrestling was really great. That's always been great. But I think, I wish that this wasn't like the abnormal thing. I wish every, WWE match had this level of character work and logical progression. And that's like the one thing with WWE. It's hard for me to get back into it now. It's just so much of this shit isn't like this. But then you have these great moments like this. It could have this.
If they try. The thing is, like, AEW, I don't think gets to this. Like, for me, they don't ever get to where, like, especially with what happens in the Bryan and Reigns match. Now, the ending of that match pisses me off a bit. But especially the character work in that match where you have, like, these established histories of these guys in WWE on the grandest stage, and they're each working exactly like they would if this was real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Reigns is working his power style. Bryan is working his technical style. Everything they do makes sense from that avenue.
Yeah.
Everything makes sense in the established canon of WWE as to why they're acting this way in this match. And it's something that, like, for Reigns is like almost like outside. It's like meta outside the narrative of his redemption in that match.
Right.
And I think that match is really, but this match is also really, really fucking excellent for its character work. It's hard hitting. It makes sense. But it needed more violence. It needed to go to that next level of violence. And, like, if it had the sort of violence that the Exploding Barbed Wire Death Match had with this sort of character work, that's what I love. That's my type of wrestling. And I like these two guys colliding. But, it's tough because the rest of the show, aside from those two matches, is the drizzling fucking shits.
Yeah.
So
and that's the thing. That's why it's like, I see how good WWE can be when they get it right. And they get it right better than basically anyone, really. There were some times when New Japan got it right to this level, but they haven't gotten that in a while, especially right fucking now. And I'll get into that later. But I wish the whole show was like this, but it's not. And so because of that, the rest of the show drags this down with it because it's on the same fucking card with this. And so this match isn't as good to me as I wish it could be because it's followed up by, it was preceded by a dog shit Shinsuke Nakamura Seth Rollins match, and it's followed up by Randy Orton versus Alexa Bliss. Wow! And it's like this real thing, and then they go to this cartoony, complete dog shit, magic fucking fairyland stuff, and it's like, how can I believe in anything? Like, the consistency of the show is, I mean, individual matches are important, but with the show, the whole thing has to work as a cohesive whole. It has to all fit the segment and the style they're trying to work. And when like you have a great moment, it can sometimes be less of a great moment because everything else around it hurts it. And that's my problem.
Yeah. Oh, it fucking sucks. And this is where WWE, if they actually were threatened by AEW, and this is why AEW needs to be a real competitor, is because if Vince is actually threatened, maybe he will give a fuck about everything on his show again. Maybe he will actually care top to bottom, because you can see that with what they do with Reigns, when they do care about a guy and they want to make that guy, they do put in the effort. They do take the time to write that person logical storylines that make sense with their character. Yeah. They do. When they don't give a fuck about you, like a Shinsuke or a Seth or whatever the fuck, and it just gets lost in the shuffle and it's shit, or they do these weird comedy things with Orton. I don't get it. But I just wish that Vince would figure it the fuck out.
Yeah, that's the thing with Orton. Orton stuff isn't supposed to be funny. It's not even comedy. They're trying to do serious shit with Orton, and this is what they're doing because they don't know what the fuck they're doing with this. And I don't get this shit personally. I'm not a big, I don't know. Like, when I watched, I mean, I always go back to the show, the Bloodsport show I went to in New York, where, like, most of the matches on that card were really short, but they, like, ended where, like, you know, a power bomb would end the match, or a fucking, you know, a single kick to the head would win the match, because they were, like, doing, like, a shoot-style wrestling show, right? And so you establish all of that. So in the main event, when you got these near falls with Suzuki and Barnett, when they were doing near falls and they were getting out of their submissions, and they were going, like, the limits and stuff, it was way more exciting because the rest of the show elevated that match. This is the opposite, where this is a great match, but it's de-elevated in my book, because the rest of the show around it makes it seem like, yeah, these guys are real, but they're on an unreal show. They're on a show that doesn't care about anything.
Yeah.
But, you know, I mean, I don't know why I'm arguing with this. It's a good match. It was fun, and it was really fucking...
It was a really fucking fun match. I really liked it. And I thought, honestly, if I would have excused the show a lot more if we also got this match with Apollo and Big E on the show that was of a similar quality, but we didn't. So as a show tonight, as just the show tonight, it's hard for me to give it a good review. But there are two things on it I like a lot. But anyway, we go on to fucking the match that just fucking kills this whole show.
This is the one that saved the show. Alexa Bliss. Oh, the Bliss faggot's jerking himself off with her hot baby outfit, and oh my gosh, she fired a fireball, and then the lights fell down, and it's just like, this fucking.
No, but even if you're a Bliss fag, like the Bliss fags were all like creaming their pants, talking about how there would be femdom in this match. Yeah. And like Alexa would sexually dominate Randy. And you didn't even get that. You don't even get like BDSM in this fucking match, which is what it should have been. Some weird fucking porno, supernatural porno with Randy and Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
You know, play into Randy's foot fetish shit. Do that shit. But no, they can't even do that. Instead, it's just this weird fucking bizarro comedy segment. Alexa comes out to this fucking retarded music that sounds like shit. It's supposed to be scary or creepy, but it's just not. It's fucking cringy. She comes out. She's not intimidating at all. Her acting, I think, is a little bit like her facials are good enough for wrestling.
Well, but you know, she has a great facials from what I've heard backstage. Her facials are the best. She's had some great facials in the past.
She has animated facials, but it doesn't sell this as like being creepy or over the top. Like
she's playing pretend. She looks like she's playing pretend, not that she's actually like a monster. Which is the one thing that at least Bray Wyatt, you know, you can give him a lot of shit for how goofy his stuff is, but at least he's like in the gimmick, and like you can tell like he's 100% in his gimmick. Whereas Alexa clearly is like playing pretend, and it's not even close, like how bad she's just acting and phoning this in. And, you know, I'm seeing people in the chat. The only thing that would have made this show better was if Alexa Bliss made Orton acknowledge her as the goddess and shoved her foot down his throat. And like that's what the show needed, really. You know, maybe she should just have
it would have been terrible if they. Oh,
She's
go
just
ahead,
come out
Gahul.
wearing
Tell
nothing.
us.
She just come out wearing like the no clothes, and she's like a ghost. Like she's got like no. You can see her bare tits because essentially that's what she is. She's just tits and ass for us to jerk off to. So just
No, but like
cut the
just
shit.
have Orton like start fucking raping her, and she's like puking out black shit. Dude, like let's see some fucking shit. Like if we're booking this fucking weird fucking sexual fetish match, then let's do it. But no, it's not like that. We're
Or
not
we
gonna.
either do that, or hypothetically, just this. Just hear me out in a wrestling match. Maybe Randy Orton just fucking kill this woman. He should just come in there, give her the punch, give her the RKO, just kick the shit out of her.
Oh,
you know what's stupid? Okay, you know what's stupid? When Randy Orton comes,
wouldn't that have been fine?
it would have been so good.
Wouldn't that have been fine? No, but it would work in the story too because he just beats the shit out of her, punts her in the fucking head, hits the RKO. Maybe he lands 2 or 3 punts on her, and just fucking wipes her.
And then she's like
right?
dead, and then she like does like the ghost sit up where like she's like knocked out, but like there's like a voice is coming out of her body. She puts her arms up like a zombie. It's like he's here, and then he comes out of the ring like he was as the burn monster, and he beats. He gets revenge, but still, it was like so stupid.
And also, so it's like this segment is mercifully short. It's only 5 minutes long. But that being said, like, what the fuck? It's only 5 minutes long. Like, this is something that's been like super promoted as like a big deal or whatever the fuck. This thing is only 5 minutes long. It consists of like Randy chasing Alexa around as she performs various magic tricks.
Yeah.
So she shoots a fireball off at him. She crashes the lights down. What else does she do? She fucking what else happened in this fucking match? What did she do? She cast fire up from the floor at one point.
Yeah, she does a fire to the floor. She laughs at him a couple times, and then she pushes him, and then the Fiend comes up, grabs him by the leg, and then he gets summoned or whatever. I gotta say, though, what doesn't make any fucking sense at all is because this is the Thunderdome, so people are the booing and crowd noises. That's all something they pipe in. So Randy Orton in this match is the heel. He's the bad guy, and Alexa Bliss is the good guy.
It's a failure.
Alexa Bliss is the hero of this match. She is the person we're supposed to get behind and cheer.
But I wanted this to actually be entertaining. I wanted this to be good so I could like defend it. Be like, no, Gahul, Alexa Bliss was fucking based in this segment. And there's just I don't have anything to work with. They've given me fuck all. It's like it's so cheap.
If Randy Orton just kicked the shit out of her for real, for shoot, it would have been awesome. The only you know who did hit an RKO on a woman today? Not Randy Orton. Will fucking Ospreay did in this New Japan match.
What if we had, I don't know, or you could have even had like Randy hit Alexa and she just no-sells everything because of magic. And it's like Orton has been hit with kryptonite. Like Orton's been like Superman with kryptonite. And that's like when he gets the black shit out of him. And then Alexa just...
That's kind of what I thought was going to happen.
Just beats the shit out of him. Or the match just ends in some weird schmoz where they both puke up black shit and it cuts to black. I don't know. I thought that was a legitimate possibility. But
then we get the debut of the new look of the Fiend. The Burned Fiend. He is Freddy Krueger meets Kane meets the Fiend. And it looks like shit. It looks like shit.
I'm just getting flashbacks to the Mummy from WCW. It's the Mummy!
It's the Yeti! It's the Yeti!
Or it's the Yeti. The Yeti.
It's the Yeti.
The Yeti, and he's got
it's
Yeti.
The Yeti. And he's just humping Hulk Hogan.
This shitty fucking like toilet paper. Like it looks like it's covered in dirt and shit. Oh, fuck. But yeah, he comes out. He looks like total shit. It doesn't look scary. He doesn't look like he's actually burned because you can see the eye holes in his mask where his normal skin is.
And he just looks like rubber. Like he's got clearly like a rubber suit on with like burned shit on it. It's dumb. And the visual where like, he pops his hand up from the ring and grabs his feet at first, like it's like Nightmare on Elm Street. That was the only good visual in the entire match. It looked all right. The rest of it is just... it's just bad. It's just not good. It's just so... like... This whole Fiend shit...
I thought that
It peaked with the John Cena match, and it's gone way downhill. Now, maybe if they do another Firefly Funhouse Kino match, maybe that'll save it. If they get this back, maybe if John Cena returns from the Shadow Realm to aid Randy Orton, like he resurrects at WrestleMania or something.
So here's what they can do. They can do like Firefly Funhouse match 2, but this time we go through Orton's career. But it's just not going to be as iconic as Cena's. It's not going to elicit the same response as Cena's. Like Cena in the NWO is such a great like subversion and like a showcase of what people wanted him to turn heel. Like with Orton, I don't know what you do. Like it's him. He shows Orton all of his past sins, like punching women in the head, or like
burning his house down.
Burning his house down. Like you can make this match work. They have to be creative with it. But I'll tell you this: I don't want to see them wrestle a straight up wrestling match again because I know what that's like, and I've seen it a few times.
Fucking WrestleMania 36. You saw it at Mania once. It wasn't good. And then they did the fucking Spook House match or whatever. It was just like,
oh fuck. And I don't know, like, is Orton gonna go over again, or like at this point, I'd almost just say fuck it, like put Orton over and just fire the Fiend, fire Bray Wyatt. But they won't do that. They're gonna get Wyatt his win back over Orton,
probably,
and continue with the Fiend character. But I think that I don't know. Like I was watching the pre-show on YouTube, and when they did the promo package for this match, all of the Indian fans were chanting out how it was fake, how it was cringe. Like saw like even the Pajeets are saying it's fake and cringe.
If you've lost the Pajeet audience, you're fucked. Because that's like WWE's keynote. Like they're like the most diehard WWE fans of all time. And if you've lost them, you're fucked, man. It's not coming back. I gotta grab some water. I'll be right back.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, folks, I don't know. This fucking Alexa Bliss stuff, folks. They have to fix it. They have to nix it. They have to end this weird storyline with the Fiend. I think they got to cut their losses. There's only so much you can do. Like I thought Bray Wyatt was talented enough on the microphone, but either they haven't given him the material to be successful, or he can't come up with it himself. And his booking and his character has always been confusing and muddled to the point where it was so dead and so fucked that they had to reboot it as The Fiend. And I'll tell you, it's only been cringe. Pretty much the only good thing from the entire Fiend run was the Firefly Funhouse. And, you know, they haven't even really kept The Fiend strong because they had The Fiend fucking lose to Goldberg. So it's not even like there's really, oh, well, The Fiend has this aura to him or he's going to give somebody the rub. There's no rub for The Fiend to give any because he already gave it to fucking Goldberg, you know? So I struggle to really give a fuck about The Fiend or anything to do with him.
Oh, The Fiend's gay. Basically, he sucks. Yeah. And I think he's been worse since... The thing is, The Fiend was always kind of like, I liked the John Cena match a lot, quite a bit, but I think that wasn't The Fiend. I think that was just good creative because of John Cena, but you know, since Alexa's come to this equation, she's been like she's dragged this whole act down into the complete drizzling shits. Like, she's a fucking death sentence for this character. And they need to get her out of this to save The Fiend. They want to save The Fiend, they need to get Alexa out of this shit.
I don't know, because people had wanted, like, I think the reason they did this is because for years people were saying, well, make Alexa Sister Abigail. Make Alexa Sister Abigail. And I think that they actually listened to the retarded fans. And I think maybe there is a segment of the audience who is into this. But, like, fuck, man, is it really worth it? Because everybody else just fucking hates it. You know, like, there is, like, the Bliss audience who I'm sure loves this shit.
They jacked themselves off to Alexa Bliss. They're just going fucking crazy, rubbing their cocks all over it. But I don't know. It's just fucked. It's just not... What can you do, man? Like, it's just this stuff sucks, but they're not going to stop doing it anytime soon. So, I mean, it sells. It sucks. You see, they're making a Fiend backpack, so when kids go back to school, they can have the Fiend on their backpack. It's pretty cool, right?
What? Why?
It's like the Fiend.
I don't know. Is that
the entire back of the backpack is the Fiend's face? So,
and that kid's going to get fucking bullied, isn't he?
No, he's the kind of guy who like he's like the really big fat one who they want to bully, but they're too afraid he'll just push him over because he's so much bigger than everyone else. So he'll get away with it.
Oh, well,
You know I'm right.
he'll
Like
get
that's
away with it. What a king.
I would have gotten bullied more if I wasn't
Yeah.
so fat. Like you can there's a point like of return on fat where if you're fat and big enough, people are afraid of your size and they're afraid to bully you because they're afraid you're just gonna push them or sit on them or some shit.
That's right, buddy. I know that. I know that feel, bro.
Is that
Anyway,
you?
let's that's me, buddy. I'm the fucking king. So we had one more fucking match on this fucking show, which was Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns. And I'll just say at the outset, I never thought there would be a day where these two would wrestle and I would be cheering for Reigns to win.
Yeah.
And I think that WWE has really succeeded in getting Roman Reigns over. And I really have enjoyed what they've done with his character work. And I really enjoyed what this match kind of represented, which was finally people are going to accept Reigns going to WrestleMania. He's going to be accepted, But the match was like trying to prove, like I think they were trying to prove that Roman really could work an excellent match. And he did work an excellent match with Bryan. And it was like power versus technique. And, Bryan was outclassing him with the technique at every turn. And he was getting into Reigns' head. And it's the first time you've seen this new Reigns character where he's frustrated. Like he's not in full control of the match.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
No, it was this was really awesome match. Like it made sense. Bryan is a great fucking. I'm sure this was probably put together by Heyman or someone. I don't know who was the producer on this match, but whoever put this together, whoever's been putting Roman's matches together, has been consistently great for the last couple of months. And this one, Bryan was not trying to outmuscle him. They didn't like make Bryan do a bunch of moves and Roman sell him. He was technically working him. That was the style. That was like, yes, Bryan is a better technical wrestler than Reigns. That's why he is more experienced, and that's why he was able to outclass him for a little while. But Reigns is still the top guy, and in the end, he was able to overcome all of that. There was some shit that went on and stuff, and then the problem was the finish, which we can get into, which is just this awesome. Great...
I was sitting here like it was an amazing match. I'm thinking this match might be a 5-star match. I'm saying to myself, the characters, the way they're working. Now, some of the submissions from Bryan, the transitions were a little sloppier than I'm used to seeing from Bryan. The odd time it was a little bit off. That's very nitpicky.
Yeah, it happens. No match is perfect. Stuff like that. There's always a couple things that go wrong. It's like you can't.
There was a couple things that were off, but I mean, I love some of the counters, like the one that Roman's did with Bryan in this match, where he gets out of the lock and he brings the elbows down. It always looks good when he does this spot with Bryan, where he pummels him with the elbows, and then he landed that power bomb. And honestly, I would be okay with that being the finish of the match, with Roman hitting those elbows and hitting that power bomb at that time. I said to myself, you know what, that would have been an okay finish, because when he hits those elbows, they look fucking good. And in fucking UFC and shit, that will really fuck somebody up when you fucking hit them with your elbow like that. It was great, like back and forth. Bryan had him in the crossface so many times. He kept getting out of it. But then they fucking have Jey Uso interfere in it. And that was okay, I guess. But I was like, I'd like to have just seen a clean finish where Roman goes over clean. And then Edge comes in as the enforcer. And then
there's all the bullshit where Bryan hits Edge, and then Edge is mad, so Roman Reigns is tapping out to Bryan, which is
that's where it kills it. That was a really bad decision.
That was bad.
Roman Reigns. Would John Cena ever tap out, even as a heel? I think we all know the answer is no. So why is Roman Reigns, the face of the company, the big star for the future, ever tapping out? Ever? Because the way the WWE has established submissions, it's not like in the UFC, where if a guy gets submitted in the UFC, you understand, like, the guy was going to either pass out or his arm was going to literally be fucking broken. But in WWE, they don't treat submissions that way. They treat like tapping out as something cowardly, they don't have matches end in submissions very often.
No.
Which I think is fucking stupid, because I think the submissions are like the realest aspect of wrestling, because some of those submissions actually really do fucking hurt. and really do
Yeah.
work. And I don't know, I like the submission-based technical wrestling. So that's why I was a mark for this match.
Bryan is a submission-based wrestler, so he should only beat Roman. He shouldn't have pinned Roman. He should have made him have to tap out because he couldn't reach the ropes. It's like, I'm stuck. I can't move. I can't reach the ropes, so I have to tap out. I have no other options.
Oh, he had to pass it. Like, Roman never taps. He passes out in the hold. Cena can pass out in the hold, like when Rusev put him in the Acolyte at, what was it, Elimination Chamber? Fuck, that was a few years ago now. Yeah. WrestleMania 31. You know, that's fine. But you can't, like, it hurts Roman's credibility as the top guy to have him submit, even to Bryan. Yeah. And it doesn't make sense because Bryan's, I don't think, going to be a part of this story going forward. The way they booked this is almost that Bryan has to be a part of the story going forward. Well, I think this has to be a triple threat.
This is what I think is going to happen. You're not going to like what I'm about to say. This is setting up not Bryan versus Reigns. They're setting up Bryan versus Edge. Because Edge is winning at Mania.
Oh, you know, that's I just don't fucking know.
Like, I don't like saying that, and I think it'd be a stupid idea. But if you really think about it, the way this goes on, the way the story's going, the way they built up Edge as a return, they paid him a shit ton of money to stay on their contract with them. Edge is going to win the title, and Roman will get it back at SummerSlam, I imagine. But between then and then, it's going to be Edge versus Bryan, and this is to set up that feud.
What should happen is that Reigns should literally cripple Edge in the ring.
That should
just completely retire him. And Edge should be seen from now on after the match in a wheelchair as an authority segment on SmackDown in like a wheelchair for like over a year, you know, and then maybe have him recover and do a babyface run in like a year's time. But they really ought to have, because what should happen is Reigns just kills Edge, like fully paralyzes him, retires him. And that would get Reigns over big as that he retired this legend. What an evil bastard. He didn't have to take it that far. But if they have Edge beat Roman at WrestleMania, Roman should never be taking losses at WrestleMania. Ever.
He's done it. He's only won once at WrestleMania.
Well,
he's won twice at WrestleMania. Okay.
Everybody is willing to accept him as the king now. Everybody is willing to accept the coronation this year. Everybody is okay with it. So just do it. You've wanted to do this for fucking how long now? The coronation at Mania. And now we're going to stop it on account of Edge? What the fuck? If they do this, if they actually have Edge beat Roman at WrestleMania, I have no faith in the company going forward. I think the wrestling business is fucked. I think it will never recover. There is no fucking godly reason on this earth. How old is Edge? 50?
47.
Holy fucking shit. Are we fucking serious?
And they're talking about how Bryan is going to be Bryan's last WrestleMania. Bryan's 39. Okay, I think Bryan is significantly younger than Edge. Bryan's not even that much older than Roman Reigns. You know, Bryan is got
Roman
like
Reigns have
10
the same
WrestleManias left in him. Frankly,
but
he does.
They both have, their necks are both ground to fucking dust. But Edge's is significantly worse than Bryan's.
No, Bryan doesn't actually have a fucked neck. It was just they had his original doctor fucking misdiagnosed him. That's what happened. That's why he had to retire back a couple of years ago. It's because he got.
Well, no, I think the reality of it is that there's probably nothing wrong with him, but the WWE doctor wouldn't clear him so that he wouldn't overshadow Roman Reigns. But now, for whatever fucked reason, when the time is right to pull the trigger on Roman Reigns, we're not going to do it. And I don't know. So this is a match that I loved it. I got sucked into this match. You know, a lot of the other matches on this card, with the exception of the Sheamus match, I'm going to other tabs. I'm looking at other shit. Don't give a fuck. This match, I had it full screen. I was watching the fucking match, beginning to end, bell to bell. Really liked the match. But I'm like, how could they fuck it up? How could they fucking overbook this finish? And it would have been fine.
It's a dusty fucking finish. I mean, same with the Big E whatever match. Listen, even if Edge loses at Mania, which at this point I don't think he's going to. I think he's winning, which I think is a bad idea. I agree, it's a terrible idea, but everything that's happened so far, it makes me think he's going to win. But even if Edge doesn't win, they can go back now to Bryan versus Reigns again, and they can say, well, it was a fucked finish last time, and we can do another match. And you know what? They continue to have great matches. This is the only program that because they've burned through Kevin Owens, basically completely. So the only program he has left on SmackDown is Edge and Daniel Bryan. And so you know what? If we're going to keep Roman Reigns as champion, we need to set up challenges for him after Mania. And Bryan is their best bet to have.
There are absolutely other guys that they could put into this position.
Who?
They could put Samoa Joe. Joe with Roman
Samoa
Reigns.
Joe is on Raw, and he's not. He's a fucking commentator. He doesn't wrestle anymore.
Move him.
Yeah,
move him over. I mean, who gives a shit? Like it's Roman Reigns. This is the fucking franchise. This is the flagship. This is who we have sacrificed everything for 5 fucking years to put over, to ram down people's throats. And now that people are willing to accept it, who gives a fuck about Daniel Bryan? He will always be over with the people who love Daniel Bryan. It doesn't hurt him at all to lose to Roman Reigns.
No.
Do you know why I know that? Because he's lost to Roman Reigns many times in the past.
And
I don't think he's ever beat Roman Reigns. Ever.
I think he has, yeah. He beat all the Shield in a handicap match once.
Was that CM Punk who did that?
No, Bryan did it too, I think. Maybe I'm thinking something.
Holy shit.
Whatever I don't know. Okay, here's the deal. What I'm saying is, I don't want Daniel Bryan to beat Roman Reigns. I'm saying they want to keep the feud going for later. You can't give him a clean finish right away just because of the storyline. That's all I'm saying. Now, in terms of who the top baby faces are on SmackDown, who you could build a good program with for Roman Reigns going forward, you have a limited amount of options in terms of baby faces in WWE. Really, realistically speaking, there are not many top-level baby faces left in the company. It's like McIntyre, and Bryan, who isn't, Bryan was kind of pushed into the mid-card for a while, but you can easily continue to build him back up. But it's McIntyre, Daniel Bryan, and I guess you can get Kevin Owens back in there. They've already killed that feud. Who else is left as a babyface that's a top-level guy that can face Roman Reigns believably and challenge him for the belts?
I don't know. Turn some of these horses face then. Put Apollo in there. Or, have them be tweeners. Fuck it. Who gives a shit? Put Apollo in there as a fucking tweener and a badass. Yeah. Put fucking Sheamus in there. I don't know. There's guys that they can put
Cesaro,
in there. Big E.
Cesaro. If they build Cesaro up, if Cesaro beats Seth at Mania, you could do Cesaro versus Roman Reigns. That's a great match. But
you can do Roman and Seth if they made Seth a babyface, which is realistically what they should. I don't know. I mean, they could have Roman as he can be either a babyface or a heel because his character isn't even being a babyface or a heel. It's just being badass and just being the fucking man. So it doesn't matter who he fucking faces. What matters is that he's dominating and that he's winning.
He should dominate everyone, but he does need believable challengers. When you fucking had Hulk Hogan as the dominant top guy back in the day, you need to build up guys. So you need to have Earthquake squashing people. You need to have guys that you can build up and have a face. It's not. You need other sides of the coin. They shouldn't be on his level, but they need to be at the level that they can main event. And the problem is they've turned so many of their top level baby faces heel. Like Seth versus Roman would be an easy match if Seth was heel, but if it was face. But he's not face. He's a fucking heel. So many of their top guys right now are heels. It's a heel favored show. And because of that, there's not a lot of guys that can put in there to have main events with Roman. And that's why we had Kevin Owens 5 times last year. And then we'll be complaining, I've seen this match 1,000 times. Or, I don't buy him that he'll win this match. That's the...
Yeah, and you can't put The Fiend in there because The Fiend is fucking...
No.
And it will just be miserable. It's going to be miserable as fuck anyway.
That's going to be the main event next year. That's going to be the main event next year, bro.
Fuck. I don't know. I would have liked to see them give Roman a Legends Gauntlet, give him Goldberg, give him fucking Edge, give him fucking bring back fucking old timers, bring Shawn back and have him kill Shawn and retire Shawn again.
Get Cena. Bring back Cena.
Get back Cena and
you know what?
Have Cena.
They should do that. They should. Here's what the gauntlet should be. All right, hear me out. It should start like this. SummerSlam, John Cena comes back because it's going to be the first show with full-size crowds. It's going to be John Cena's going to welcome back because he's going to challenge for the title and he's going to kill John Cena. So that you think that's going to be enough. And then he's going to beat Goldberg at Survivor Series. And then at the Royal Rumble, fucking Shawn Michaels is going to come back one last time. He's going to kill Shawn Michaels. And then at WrestleMania next year, Roman Reigns versus The Rock. The Rock. It's got to be The Rock. That's who you got to face. There's no other match. There's no other greater match. The Rock wants it. He's talking on his YouTube about, I'm going to face Roman Reigns one day at some point. That's going to happen. That has to be a match they do for main event.
Yeah, I don't know. It hurts me to think of this, that they're not going to just have Roman be the champion for almost 2 straight years and then battle The Rock and then even go over The Rock and continue for another 6 months. Like, I think he should be champion for like 2 years.
3.
Like, you know,
He should be
two
the
or three
constant.
years.
He should just. I mean, fucking Okada was champion for 3 years. Why can't you do it for Roman Reigns? You know, Roman Reigns is a more believable top champion than Okada is, and I
Well,
love Okada as a wrestler. But
and
you know
at
what?
some point, Brock Lesnar's going to come back too, and Brock can fucking finally put Roman over the right way.
Yeah,
You know, it's just like Vince has this vision for his company that Roman Reigns was going to be the face of it, and now he's going to get cold feet about that. When I finally am sold on it, it's just fucking sickening. It's fucking sickening. Like I don't fucking grasp what they're thinking. And they're doing the same thing with McIntyre, where he gets this idea McIntyre could be a top guy. And then
he
watch,
is.
McIntyre won't even fucking win at Mania either. He'll lose to Lashley. Watch. You know?
No,
It's just fucking bizarre.
I think McIntyre's gonna win the title back, but you know, I hope they give Bobby a chance. You know, I think whatever the case, that's the shit. That's what's going on. That was Fastlane. We could talk about it forever.
That was fast. Like, all right. Well, we want to go over AEW quick.
Well, before we go to AEW, I want to touch base quick. I know we've been going for a while, and I don't want to keep you forever. I want to touch base and talk about the New Japan Cup Finals that happened last night in the middle of the night when I was up late last night after doing nothing all night. I watched this show, and I watched Shingo Takagi versus Will Ospreay. And Shingo was my pick to win the whole thing, and they gave it to Will fucking Ospreay, this stupid fucking Brit bastard who can't work a shit. And here's the retarded stuff, PPP. Here's what happened. He comes out and Kota comes out with both belts. They haven't gotten rid of they haven't unified the two titles yet or whatever, because they're gonna do it sooner or whatever the fuck. And they have fucking Kota Ibushi come out, and he's like, "Oh, Will Ospreay, you challenge me," and they do a stare down. And Will Ospreay, he's got a faction. It's called the Empire or whatever, and it's him, the Great Okan, Jeff Cobb, and then his girlfriend Bea Priestley, who's soon to be wife or whatever. And she interferes. She's like his manager, his valet, and she interferes in his matches and stuff. And you know what they have him do after he wins his tournament, and he's going to be the one who challenges Kota Ibushi. He looks at Kota Ibushi, and then he turns around and he gives his girlfriend an RKO in the middle of the ring for no reason. He just does it to get cheap heel heat because he's a bad guy.
Does he use the RKO?
He does like a jumping. It's called the Os Cutter. He like does it like he just jumps off the middle rope and does the RKO.
It sounds fucking cringe, bro. I don't know. Like, it just sounds sad. Like, I don't know. Will Ospreay to me isn't a main event guy. Will Ospreay shouldn't really be winning fucking shit. Will Ospreay would be lucky to be X Division champion in TNA in 2010, in my eyes.
Someone on the internet told them that Will Ospreay is going to be the replacement for Kenny Omega. He's their top foreign Gaijin star now, and he is fucked. It's so fucked. Listen, okay, I get it.
Who cares? Look, what they'll do.
But here's the reasoning.
They'll just smash him over.
Here was their logic for why he fucking cuttered his girlfriend. And first of all, it's just stupid because it's like, this is some dumb, stupid shit to get heel heat. But the reason why is because he said on the backstage interview, because nothing is more important than me than the title, and I want to send that message. So he beat up his wife, the woman he's fucking, his wife to be, his fiance. He physically assaulted her for the sole purpose of proving that he likes the belt. As if we didn't already know that. It's like, who the fuck is writing this shit? It's like, this is like is this supposed to make us not like Will Ospreay? Yeah, he's a heel. We don't need to get this. It's like, why break up the act? And he isn't breaking up the faction. He just assaulted his wife. That's all he did it for. I mean, it was pretty base. I was pretty behind it. I was like, yeah, fuck you, kill the woman. But it's retarded.
Well, I mean, the reality of it is that if Uncle Dave gives it 5 stars, everybody will say it's great anyway.
Well, I don't even think the match was great.
I don't even think the match quality matters in Japan. Like, Uncle Dave will give it however many stars he wants to give it, and everybody will suck it off as the second coming of Christ anyway. I mean, that's just the reality. Like, If he loves Will Ospreay, I don't know if he loves Will Ospreay or not, but if he does, like all the fucking fans of New Japan who are Western guys, they're fans because of Dave Meltzer, and they'll just parrot whatever the fuck his opinion is. I don't know.
Okay, here's the deal. So the match was good with Shingo. It was actually a very fucking good match. But that was because of Shingo Takagi, because Shingo Takagi is a great fucking wrestler. And he's always been great. He was great in Dragon Gate. He's great now. He's great since he's come in. And it sucks that he didn't win, because he's the kind of guy that needs to win the New Japan Cup to like get himself to that main event level. But he didn't, and it's fucking gay. Someone was asking in the chat about the earthquake. It was 2 nights ago. There was an earthquake during the middle of the show. And like you can see, like there was like a 7.0 earthquake off the coast of Japan, and it happened right through the middle of the show. And so like there's like, but they're doing a bunch of beatdowns in the corner, and like Jay White's in the middle of the ring, and suddenly just everything starts shaking. He starts going like, huh, what the fuck's going on? And they like to stop the whole thing and say, everyone, calm down, hold on to something secure. Like they show like the roof, it's like rattling, like it looks like things are gonna start falling off. It was fucking great.
Yeah.
Someone asked in the chat how many push-ups I can do. I have done it on stream before. Can do at least 30 in a row without breaking a sweat. I could do more probably. So that's how many.
There you go. Shannon Gaines wants to know how many push-ups I can do. That was his big O, the People's Populist push-ups.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, I'll do them when Shannon does them. Shannon will never do them.
I'll just do them. I can just do push-ups.
No, because Shannon couldn't do a push-up to save his life. You know, so Shannon's just totally full of shit. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Anyway, I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, New Japan seems like, by what you're saying, is starting to go a little bit south.
It's gone south. It's gone south the last year and a half. I mean, ever since COVID hit, it's been kind of fucked. But even before then, the planning is bad. You know, it's just not well put together. It's just not smartly booked. And before, it was very smartly booked. Like, during the Okada title reign, when he was champion for God knows, like fucking 2.5 years, the longest ever champion fucking of all time. That time period was so good. It was so great to like watch all the shows and the G1s, and there was so much drama and build up, and the challengers were all great, and the entire card from top to bottom was awesome. And now it's not good, and it's just sad. And a lot of it's because a lot of their main Western talent left for AEW. Not just the elite guys, but a lot of their like undercard Western talent jumped ship. You know, their relationship with Ring of Honor deteriorated, and a lot of the places they were sending their young lions to, which is the whole system of getting their new guys, they send them to new companies to develop and foster talent. A lot of the companies they're sending these young lions to have gone to shit too, like CMLL and Rev Pro and Ring of Honor. So the guys who are getting back from them are way worse now. Like, fucking, you know, they got, what's his face? I mean, Kamatachi, who over in CMLL was so fucking awesome. He's like a top guy there, and then he comes back and he's Hiromu and he's great. Meanwhile, Master Wada goes over there and he dyes his hair blue, and then he comes back and it's nothing.
So, I mean, this is the main question I have. Are the Japanese audiences still into it?
I guess so. I think they fucking got outsold in the fucking... They got outsold by a DDT show last couple months. There's other wrestling companies in Japan are doing better now. All Japan's on the rise again. DDT's back up again. Fucking Tokyo Joshi Pro is back up again.
The way I'm looking at it is, and I'm just starting to get sad, is it just seems to me like wrestling is fucking dying. Like, it is really, really dying everywhere. It is getting fucking the record low viewership. Nobody seems to give a fuck. Even fans of wrestling watch it every week, like us, watch it and are like, this, it's not very good most weeks.
Well, like, you could always go back to, like, say, even, like, I used to watch NXT every week, and NXT, since it's been on USA, has gone down, too. And I'm sad, because I always like the takeovers, I always liked all those shows. They were so much fun, and now they're not as good. They're just not as good.
Well, holy fuck. I just remember complaining, like 10 years ago, in, like, 2010, 11, 12. And at this point, I would sooner go back to then.
Oh, my God, it was so much nicer.
You know, but back then people were saying, this is fucking shit. It'll never get worse than Cena. Now it's like, oh, fuck, bring him back.
Cena Holy was fuck, fun.
Bring back John, I guess. It just starts to get sadder and sadder as the fucking years go by. Like, I'm looking at, like, a WrestleMania main event that are, like, Sasha Banks and fucking Bianca Belair. I mean, holy shit.
Okay,
there's been some weak main events, but holy
Okay, and I
shit!
hate to
Like,
say this, I want Lashley and McIntyre to main event, but think about this: that was a TNA main event not 5 years ago. That was literally the main event of Slammiversary not 5 years ago. I had the fucking DVD
yeah,
somewhere. That is the level where they are literally the TNA backwash, right? Where like that's what WWE is. It's like
yeah,
it's TNA backwash. It's like the legends are gone.
those are the better parts of their show. Is TNA backwash,
Yeah,
like AJ Styles? It's like, like
yeah.
past his prime, like shit. Like, what the fuck?
And like
Like,
everyone's
this
like,
is where
"Oh,
we're at.
AJ rehabbed himself in New Japan. He's still a TNA guy, And it's like,
He's the face of TNA. He is fucking always going to be TNA's fucking golden guy. I don't know. Like, the state of the business is just fucking tough, and it's tough. Like, you watch this WWE pay per view tonight, and you say to yourself, "Fuck, it could be so much more." And wrestling is
that's
right when it's done right. It is my favorite entertainment on the planet.
yeah,
When
same here.
it's done fucking poorly, it's so fucking shit. And it's just like, fuck, if they can just get it right, at least, fuck, like most of the show. I'm not asking every match be 5 stars. I'm just asking that every match make fucking sense
Well,
within its own universe. Like,
I think wrestling was healthier even 5 years ago. It was so much healthier than it is now because you still had Cena then. You had a quality New Japan product. You had decent quality ROH product. You had a quality Impact product. You had fucking Lashley and McIntyre in Impact at the time, which is a good product. And then you fucking had a great, thriving independent scene, which you could go and you can go watch great wrestling for
yeah,
fucking dirt cheap for $15. You go down to the local VFW and watch some great fucking wrestling. The indies are dead.
Ring of Honor now. The
Ring of
fucking
Honor is
fall for Ring of Honor has been so fucking down. I
they
remember at one time Ring of
ran
Honor was the best company in the world.
they
Like in
ran
2008 and 9. Like,
fucking Madison Square Garden. They ran Madison Square Garden and they sold that shit out. And then immediately after that, they tanked in every possible way. They tanked in ratings, in viewership, in everything. You know? And it's like, and that's just recently, but back in the day when they had fucking Bryan and CM Punk and, fucking Misala versus Joe, fuck, it was awesome. And it's just like it's just sad to see. Like whereas before you had a whole variety of things you could do. Like even if you didn't like WWE, you could go watch Ring of Honor, you could go watch Impact, you could go watch fucking some British independent stuff. Fuck, you can go see a local independent show that's a ton of fun. You can go see CZW or JCW. You had all the flavors of wrestling was somewhere either in the independent or on WWE or in Japan or something. Now it's WWE and AEW and New Japan and a couple other Japanese company, and that's it. And AEW does not. I like AEW. I'm a fan of it. I know you don't like it too much as I do, but I like what they put out. But they do not replace the entire American independent wrestling scene, including Ring of Honor and all the other fucking companies. They don't replace CZW. They don't replace all of that great shit that was of all varied and had all kinds of variety. They don't replace all
well,
of
we'll
it.
see. We'll see what happens when COVID, if it ever does end. We'll see if the independents come back, but it's going to
They
take
were
a
dead
while for
before
them.
COVID. They were dead before COVID. Back when in 2019 they were fucking done. Like all the shows back then, they were fucking nothing. The last hurrah of the independent wrestling scene was the WrestleMania 2019 weekend. After that, I mean, the SummerSlam weekend was nothing. There's like no good shows. There's nothing big coming out. It was sad.
Yeah, it is. It's getting pretty fucking sad. But I don't know. Hopefully, we'll see either WWE figure it out as it's like eventually they face death's door, or AEW. Maybe I still am holding out hope that somehow, some way, they course correct. And
The
I get it. Like
WWE,
AEW is going
the,
to appeal to a certain audience, but it's just not. It's not
what I
really for
want.
me.
I want something different. But the thing is, WWE will never be at death's door. The contracts they've signed, the television deals they've got, doesn't matter. I mean, their ratings, yeah, they're bad, but for television ratings, they're actually all right. That's the sad part is they're at the lowest they've ever been. But for most TV shows, they're actually not doing too bad. That's how low we've
Yeah.
gone in viewership for everything, interest in basically anything besides just looking at Twitter and Instagram all day. You know, it sucks.
Yeah,
Sad
well,
to say.
cable's doing fucking poorly. We'll quickly go over AEW. We'll try not to be fucking too in depth. There was Cody and Pentagon to start the show.
Didn't like this. I enjoyed the actual match, but I didn't like that they blew it off so soon. I didn't like that Cody beat him right away. I thought that he no. I didn't like him no selling the fucking arm breaker. He no-sold the fucking arm breaker, and he did a roll-up with the same arm he fucking broke, you know? It was stupid. It's like, okay, I guess the arm breaker doesn't matter in this company. Fuck it. It was stupid.
Yeah, I don't know. We gave Penta fans some hope last week. We fucking take it away this week.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck. Like, I thought that there was some like positive buzz around Penta going out of last week, and they're supposed to pay attention. I thought to what the fans want. But this is not what anybody really wants to see. I mean, Cody is going fucking 20 minutes sometimes with Sonny Kiss. 15 minutes with these fuckers. He's beating Pentagon in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck me.
I'm okay with Cody rolling up Penta. I'm okay with that being the finish of the match. I'm not okay with that being the finish of the match after he does the arm breaker immediately. Immediately no-selling one of his biggest fucking, like, danger killer moves. Like, people bitch when people kicked out the Styles Clash in WWE when AJ first came over. This is worse in every respect. It's worse than that. Because the arm breaker is supposed to be like a killer move that breaks your arm. And to deliberately no-selling it by using that broken arm to roll a guy up, it's just... You think Cody would know better than this shit, but he just doesn't care. It was just terrible.
I don't know if he's checked out or what it is, but I don't know. It's just maybe he's got his money. He thinks he's only going to wrestle another year and then move to a vice president role or something exclusively. I don't know. Then we had, what the fuck was it? The bullshit Young Bucks segment in the back with Don Callis.
Let's skip all the shit besides the main stuff. Let's just go through the main matches and segments. Let's fuck the side back stuff. Who cares?
All right, what do we got? Fucking... Well, the only thing about that was the do not slap fucking, leg when kicking, which just fucking blows my mind that that's being referenced on TV.
They need to cut the fucking meta stuff with like the jabs at WWE. It hasn't been good since like maybe the open. It's been cringe since the opening episode, but they keep doing it. Now it is retarded that they banned the leg slap, which is something Shawn Michaels invented, or whatever, whoever fucking invented it. It's retarded they banned it, but why? It's no one gets that, but people who are super into hardcore stuff. So it appeals to no one, frankly. I think it pisses us off because we don't like that meta shit. But it also doesn't appeal to casual, so no one likes it.
Yeah. All right, we'll go over it. Fuck the women's match. No one cares. There was MJF cut a promo.
It's the Pinnacle is the stable's name.
Pinnacle. They look good. Like, they all look good except for fucking Shawn Spears.
Yeah.
Shawn looks like he doesn't belong with his stupid fucking haircut.
Yeah.
Fuck.
He's the MJF. The MJF promo was... Really? Well, he does belong, because he's double S Shawn Spears. SS Shawn double S. Super straight Shawn Spears, my friend. That was awesome. Making the Jewish guy say double S. That was based, actually. Yeah. Maybe if Shawn Spears is actually a Nazi, that's a great gimmick. There we go. He's a Murdoch fan, like Surfer. Yeah. They should get Surfer to be his manager.
The only thing also, the thing about this promo that was a little bit weird was when he like mentions that Shawn is like the weak odd man out, and that he's going to prove the doubters wrong. Like, he's not going to prove the doubters wrong. Like, we've seen what Shawn can do. Just don't mention it. Don't mention that there's this criticism. Maybe he will get over, but don't fucking mention that there's a problem, that he's like the weak man of the group.
No, don't. Unless he's going to do it, like he's going to kick him out later. But whatever, it's the Pinnacle. I mean, it's like we said last week when we were talking about this. It's a great group. It's a fucking awesome stable, and it's what they need on top. I mean, there's too many stables in AEW, but Inner Circle needs to have something to challenge them besides the shithole leagues. So,
okay. We had Matt Hardy, Mark Quinn, Isaiah Cassidy, the Butcher and the Blade versus the Luchasaurus stable and Bear Country. What did you think of this one?
I don't like it. I didn't think it was that good. I did not. I thought. I think the Butcher and the Blade. I think I said this last week. They're a terrible addition to the Matt Hardy group. I think the Matt Hardy group sucks. I think Bear County looked kind of cool. And I like Luchasaurus. Luchasaurus looked good in the match. That's the positives. Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy and Bear Country look kind of good in this match. The Butcher and the Blade have been de-elevated. They have stepped down a rung on the show floor. Instead of elevating themselves up to the main event, they go higher and higher as they progress through the time. They were up here, now they are down here. They were up here with Eddie Kingston as their manager, as the group there. Yeah. They were at that level, and they were a good group, and they were doing main event stuff. And now they're right smack dab back to the mid card, right where the Blade, I guess, belongs. And Matt Hardy pins the person. He pins Marco Stunt, and yeah, that makes Marco Stunt should take the pin, which makes sense. But Matt Hardy is like, this fucking group sucks. Matt Hardy sucks. Big money Matt Hardy is not good, and I don't like this gimmick. It's not good. It's a shithole gimmick. And it's ruining the people around you. This would have been okay, here's the deal. TH2, I can get all screen. Okay. So, Butcher and Blade were up here. TH2 is down here, and Matt Hardy's like right here. If TH2 met to Matt Hardy, if they got hired by Matt Hardy, they get bumped up the card because they're not doing anything, and now they're doing something. Now, Butcher and Blade are up here, and they get bumped down. That's it. And TH2, because they didn't get that GOG, are now way off, and they're not even on the show.
This is what I believe. I believe that all of these people pretty much deserve to be in this spot, except for Butcher, who should be a singles guy and probably be TNT champion, or something like that.
I agree. Yes, he should be, like a top mid guard. He could probably you build him up enough, you could challenge him for a series title, or even as a tag team. Him and Blade are a pretty good tag team. They should be challenging for the titles against the Bucks at some point. You could do that. But the Butcher is such a fucking awesome looking guy. He's the Walrus. He's super cool looking, but he's fucking
the characterization they give him makes him kind of goofy. And so I get that you like some of what they've been doing with his character, and I don't mind it necessarily, but
I don't like what they're doing with his character. I think he has a good look, and himself, his character of who he really is so good it can override some of the shit they're doing to him. But what they've done to him has been a net negative, I think. Him coming out of that Bloodsport show is a much higher sting than anything in his his AEW.
I don't even think he won that match at the Bloodsport show. I think he lost that match.
No, he lost that. But
he still looked cool.
He looked fucking badass. He was like, "Whoa, the fucking Walrus, yeah!" And I think his run with Eddie Kingston, I think, was good because Eddie Kingston's a pretty great talker. I thought that was pretty good, but. And I liked him in the fucking Clockwork Orange outfit. I think that is a good look for him specifically, but what can you do?
I mean, Butcher as a singles, I'd like him against Archer. I'd like him against Cage. I'd like him, against Darby Allin even, as like the big hoss working with him. I think he could work a good match in a singles even with Phoenix. I think he could work a good match with Pac. There's a lot of matches they could do with that guy that we're never going to get to see, other than maybe in tag team schmozzes and shit. But the guy could work matches against the smaller baby faces and even the Hoss heels, no matter which way you want to push him, But they don't give a fuck.
He's a good piece. He's a good piece of the puzzle. Maybe someone will accidentally injure the Blade permanently. He'll have to retire early. Maybe someone could do that, and then he'll get the chance he deserves.
Okay, so there was Christian Cage's promo, I guess. We'll skip over Moxley in that segment. Cage gave a promo where he's saying he's going to go after Omega. I guess this is the next feud for Christian Cage.
Yeah.
It's going to be Omega.
That's going to be the double.
I'm all right with that.
Event. I mean, if you're going to bring a guy in, you're going to build him up like this top star Hall of Famer. With Edge, it's like, you got to push him to the main event then. If he's like the top guy, you can put him in the main event. Who else is he going to work with? He's going to, I hope he loses, but, and.
Well, Christian has to lose this match, and so does Edge. There's no excuse for them to be beating Omega or Reigns. What if
they both win? What if they both win?
Oh my god, they might do it.
And they do a photo op together. It's like, we're back on top, baby. Can you imagine the fucking heat that would get? Everyone would be pissed. Oh,
fuck.
That would be
awesome. I almost of the opinion that from the beginning they probably should never have had Omega lose ever. And have just pushed him as the guy from the start, but whatever. He didn't. So I view him in a way that's a bit fucked because I view him as a guy who lost to Moxley last year. I've never seen him work a 5-star match because I haven't seen his shit in Japan. And I don't know, some of his character work when he started getting the broom entrance I've liked, but fuck, it is what it is.
What can you do? John Moxley and Eddie Kingston defeat the Good Brothers. Good Brothers getting buried, bro. They lost an Impact tag titles at Sacrifice, and now they're losing to Moxley and Kingston on fucking Dynamite. They're getting jobbed out for real, brother.
I don't know. This is how I expected them to be treated. Nobody seems to treat these guys with any level of respect or ever treat them seriously. I don't know. I guess they lost to Moxley.
The only one who ever treated with respect was fucking New Japan. They left that place once they got the more money, so now no one gives a shit.
They get what they fucking deserve at the end of the day. They get what they fucking deserve. For me, again, I wish I could see them the way you see them, but I don't see them that way. I see them as Luke Gallows from the Straight Edge Society, some guy who was a jobber for AJ Styles. That's who these people are to me. That's who they are.
That's fair. I mean, that's who they've been for a long time. But I mean, Carl Anderson was the leader of the Bullet Club. He was the top guy. Even when AJ was there, he was their top fucking heel. I mean, he was a tag team wrestler, but he was the mouthpiece. He was the guy. But he's not anymore. So what can you do? Sting.
Okay. Darby Allin and Sting.
Interview. Allin let someone challenge from the Dark Order, so they're gonna have a match next week. Lance Archer comes out, calls Darby Indie-rific, an Indie-rific joke, which is a good line. It's fucking Kevin Nash line. That's a good line. Gotta love Kevin Nash. And then Roberts, they're building up fucking Lance versus Sting still. But then Brian Cage comes out and he breaks away from Team Taz. Brian Cage looking like he's turning face, which is hopefully he can go out on his own and do something good finally. Because I mean, I like the Team Taz unit, but Brian Cage, maybe ever since while he's been in them, he hasn't won much. He hasn't been pushed the way that he should be. So, is it for the best? Is it for the worst?
He has a higher ceiling. He has a higher ceiling than what he's been doing, but I don't think they're gonna treat him well outside of Team Taz. Like, I just think he'll get lost in the shuffle because they don't know what to do with him. I mean, if they want to do like this indie-rific fucking, type thing with Archer, why don't you just have Cage cut promos like that? You know what I mean? Like, but again, like, I don't even think a promo like that is very good. Like, a line like that, I don't even think is good because it's like exposing Darby. Like, it's shitting and burying Darby. If you have a guy come out every week and continue to point out that Darby is so small and so weak and should never beat me, I don't know, maybe it's good heel heat, but at the same time, I feel like it maybe just totally buries the fucking guy. I don't know. If it was a better promo than Archer, it would have buried him, but since Archer's not that great, really didn't do shit, but
yeah, what can you do?
What can you do?
Ray Phoenix with Pac defeated Angelico. So, this is what TH2 was reduced to their job into fucking Ray Phoenix, which is fine. They had a very good match. I thought this was the last match I saw on the show, so this was the main event for me. And I thought it was pretty good. I thought Ray Phoenix did some good chain wrestling. They had some fun stuff. I thought it was a quality match. Which is okay. It wasn't amazing, but it was a quality match.
So, that match was all right. We'll talk about the main event a little bit.
Before we go, we should talk about the Miro interview, which I thought with Chuck Taylor. You want to start base with that quick? I think it's very clear they're going to do this match. I think it's next week or whatever. I'm not sure when it's happening, but whatever it happens, it's very clear Chuck Taylor's going to do a breakup with Miro, and that's what this match is going to be about. That's what the storyline reason. It's going to be probably Miro. They'll have him lose. It's going to be Kip that's going to lose, and then Miro will break off and go on his own as his own thing. He's like, I don't need you. I need to get the world title. And then he'll have Miro challenged at some point. Who knows?
Yeah. Miro looked good in the segment. I think Kip next to Miro looks like a fucking joke.
He does.
Miro fucking looks jacked. Jacked. His tattoo of Bulgaria and like the Russian flag colors. I like it. I like his look. I like it when they fucking, have him shirtless, have him fucking working out. He looks like a fucking monster, and he's cutting a high energy promo now where he's just being Rusev, which is what they should have done from day one with this fucking guy. Hey, instead of wasting him like this. Miro said some bullshit. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, Oh, he said some bullshit like, well, I can't be the world champion day one. I need to work my way up the roster, this and that. Oh, I mean, Christian Cage is now being slotted into the world title scene right away
Yeah.
without having really earned it. And I mean, would anybody have really complained if they had put Miro in the upper card? Would anybody have complained about that?
No.
So I don't understand it.
I think he realizes that now because I think a lot of the creative in AEW, like I said this before, is dictated by the talent. Like I think a lot of the wrestlers, like we say, oh, these guys don't know. The problem is a lot of this company is being booked by the guys who are wrestling. Like a lot of the programs and the promos are all being decided by the people. So probably a lot of the shit that's happened with Miro was probably Miro's idea, which is something we need to come to terms with. That a lot of these guys we think we love aren't that creative, better in the hands of other people. But maybe now he's realized that in order to fucking save himself and his career in this company, he needs to put himself over. And to do that, he needs to fucking be himself, crush people, destroy people, and get away from fucking Kip Sabian. And the sooner he does it, the better. So
yeah, the sooner he does it, the better. Really, needs to. I wish it was this week. I wish it was this week. I wish we literally all you have to do is just fuck it. Don't even address it. Just have Miro come out next week alone and squash a jobber and just release Kip quietly and Orange Cassidy and Charles go do something else the next week. And people will complain for like a week that this has happened. They'll be, oh my God, there was no coherent follow-up to that storyline. And then everybody will move on because it will be better. So, just say fuck it. Just cut your losses. Who cares? Yeah. They do it with other shit all the time.
So you're right. All right. And then there was the main event, which I did not watch. So
yeah, for a women's match, it was fucking a good women's match. There was fucking a lot of blood in this match.
Yeah, I saw pictures.
They both bled, and for this on TV to have blood, and Sheamus and McIntyre not to have blood, is so fucking shameful. When you really think about it, it's so fucking shameful.
Yeah.
It almost blows my mind that WWE is at such a level where on their pay-per-view, they can't even go to the level of violence in the women's match on the competitor's fucking TV show. I don't know. That's shameful looking at it in retrospect.
It's something that they need to change. Probably I don't know if they can because of ad deals and contracting with kids programming, but they need to change that basically ASAP. They need to have blood on their show. As soon as they fucking can. Otherwise, they just need it. So much of wrestling, you need a little bit of blood. It doesn't have to be every show. It doesn't have to be all the time. But you need fucking blood to make it to make this fucking shit work. It just does.
Yeah. Thunder Rosa won this match, which I think is kind of bullshit. I think Britt Baker should have won this match because Britt Baker is their homegrown talent. Britt Baker is their AEW. I thought the face of the women's division was Britt Baker, really. But they gave it to Thunder Rosa, who's from NWA. Thunder Rosa is the better worker. Thunder Rosa is actually a competent women's worker. And I think probably carried Britt through a lot of this match because I think Britt's not really that good. But that being said, Britt is the AEW women's person I thought they were going to push. So I'm surprised to see her lose. Thunder Rosa, whatever. It's fucking women's match. I think the unsanctioned lights out aspect of shit is stupid. Especially to do it more than one time. I get it.
I don't get it being a staple thing that you do all the time. Especially I get it more on a pay-per-view than I do on this TV show. Because I think on a TV show it makes no sense because you're allotted this TV time. So the lights out match should really happen at 9 o'clock after the show is off the air, right? Doesn't that make logical sense? At least on the pay-per-view, it's the show should be over now, but we had this extra match that's not officially sanctioned. It's after the match, after the show has gone off the air. But for a TV show, they're allotted this time. This match this is the main event of their television show, right? It doesn't make any fucking logical sense. It should only happen on pay-per-view and maybe then once every years, a couple years, not frequently.
Yeah, the one match that I remember from my childhood, this one, would be Shawn Michaels and Triple H when Michaels came back from back injury, and that actually made sense. That would be a hold harmless match or whatever the fuck they called it, unsanctioned match. or whatever, and that was on pay per view at SummerSlam. Whereas this is like a TV match between two girls who do they really even have that much history or build up to have such a match?
There's been like 2 or 3
I
matches,
couldn't.
and I know the thing with the reason I didn't watch this, besides the women's match, because I'm not gonna watch it, but also they've had matches before and they haven't been that good. Right? I've seen their
No,
past matches and they haven't been that good. So even if this is like this amazing, crazy
but,
match, which it probably was very good from what I've seen, like, I'm not going to spend my time watching it because the previous history that you've shown me does not make me want to watch this. So even if does
well,
deliver,
John Canton gives us 4.5 stars. I don't think it's 4.5 stars. I think it's at best 3 stars. I think
yeah,
it's good enough. And this is the best match they could possibly have. They've pulled out all the stops, and I don't know. Like, one thing is in WWE, when they have blood, it's really special. But in AEW, if even the girls are getting blood like this on TV, it starts to make it a bit less special. You know, there's a good middle ground there with the blood. You know.
yeah, it has to happen every once. It can't happen all the time. The one thing is, I guess this is like the first women's main event. This is the first time they gave the women the main event. So I guess they are thinking this is a special match for them for the division. So, is it a great idea to do blood? Maybe not, but like it probably is the only thing that gave this match interest. It's the only thing that gave this match any attention or like notoriety
Oh,
afterwards.
it's the only reason anyone gives a shit is because they fucking both blade job to shit. And yeah, it did make the match better, but it's just I think it's a wasted stipulation on this match.
I agree.
Uh,
I'm not going to defend it because it's dog shit. The entire women's division is dog shit because all women's divisions are dog shit because all women are dog shit. Unless the one wants
oh
to
boy.
have sex with me. If they want to have sex with me, then you're great, baby. You're awesome. Come on. You want to. Come on. Just. I love you, baby. Come on. I'm just joking. It's just all the other women are dog shit besides you. As long as you suck my cock.
Buddy, it makes sense, but like I think you're gonna do well if you just put yourself out there, man, and just be yourself. You're gonna get all these bitches. You're gonna get all the pitches. True
I
to
don't
life
believe
player.
you. I don't believe
So
you.
that was AEW this fucking week. It was an okay show.
It was a
Wasn't
total. No, I think it was kind of a nothing show. It was kind of like meh, which is fine. Not every show has to be great or fucking incredible. I prefer just like a regular.
no.
I'm happy
Well, I
there.
prefer this to just like total dog shit.
Yeah,
You know.
not all wrestling
You
TV
know,
shows are going to be awesome all the time. You need like a little, like you need like a generic bland show that's forgettable every now and then. I guess the main
yeah.
show. I didn't watch the main event, and that was the big thing that happened on the show was the main event. That and the MJF promo, and I thought the MJF promo was nice. It's a nice little placeholder for next week. Hopefully things are better
Yeah.
this week. But you excited to watch Raw and SmackDown this week after the pay per view PPP? It's the road to WrestleMania, less than a month away. It's gonna be here before you know it.
Well, how long is it? So
20
there's
days.
going to be there's going to be 2 more episodes of Raw until WrestleMania. Oh, 3. Sorry, 3 more episodes of Raw
One, two.
until WrestleMania.
So WrestleMania is the 10th and 11th. And
Yeah.
you know what's
So
crazy? Fucking NXT TakeOver is going to be 2 nights as well. Did you hear that?
What?
It,
Why?
so here's the deal. Okay, the Wednesday episode of NXT, that 7th, is going to be a takeover on USA Network. And then on the 8th, there's going to be another NXT takeover, part 2.
Is NXT going well? Do you watch it?
I
I
haven't
haven't
watched it in
watched it in a
months. I
while.
watched a takeover, I think, partially, but I didn't even watch like the last like 3 or 4 takeovers. And I used to always watch takeovers. I used to fucking love them. I used to get excited for them. They were always had some great wrestling and some good character work on them. And I have just not paid the fuck attention at all.
Do you know what they're doing with Walter? Is
He's
he
back.
ever gonna?
He's in. He's in.
Is he ever,
He's coming back. He came back for takeover for the next couple months. He's actually.
is he
He's
ever gonna be on the main roster? Because he's
no.
somebody that I feel like
He would be
could just
awesome
plug
on the
him.
main roster. Him and
Could
Ilya.
plug him right into the main event.
You could. The thing with Walter is he's got this great fucking look. He's an awesome actual worker. Him and Dragunov had the best WWE match last year, but it was on NXT UK, so nobody watched it. But the thing with Walter is he's the kind of guy who loves his family, and his family lives in Germany, and so he can't move to the United States to work a WWE schedule because he's not going to move his family. He said, I can't move my family. I can't do that to them because he loves them too much. So he's going to be in NXT UK for basically forever. He's just going to be the NXT UK champ until he dies.
Vince has to say to him, "How about for $1 million, pal? How about for $2 million, pal?
If they're going to give Walter $2 million, how much? He's worth that much, I think. Well, I thought Keith Lee was worth that much, and they fucking fucked his ass up, so.
Holy fuck. Why is Keith Lee not facing Roman Reigns as a babyface? What the fuck?
They just sent him back to developmental because he didn't work it well enough.
Oh, right, but he was working fucking perfectly fine. It's just fucking nonsense. They put him in a bullshit outfit. Fucking leotard. Now, what about Killer Cross? What the fuck are they doing with Killer Cross? Does anybody fucking know?
He was injured, and then he just came back like a month or two ago. So he was on the shelf. And now he's back, and now I think he's challenging for the title at TakeOver at WrestleMania weekend. He's probably going to lose him beyond his way up. I heard he's going to win, and Balor's coming back up to the main roster because Balor's champion right now in NXT.
Fuck that. Fuck Balor. Put fucking Killer Cross on the main roster and fucking make him a main eventer. The guy is fucking wasted.
The plan was to hotshot him to the main event of like main roster at one point, but that kind of got put on hold because he got injured. So maybe he'll get back to that point. But I mean, the thing with NXT is that the storytelling.
Is the NXT a cancer? Is the NXT the cancer killing the company? Because all these new guys that come in, they don't go to the main roster anymore to have their hot introduction. They go to NXT, give people like 2 or 3 years at this point sometimes. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Of all
Adam
the shit
Cole's
they
been there a long
them.
fucking time. The thing is that NXT, the problem was that they made NXT a TV show, but even before then, that's where they gave these guys a shot. Look at this. Look at who was the best signing WWE has had in the last 5 years. It was AJ Styles, and they did not send him to NXT. They put him right at the fucking main roster.
Yeah. Why aren't we just shit can it? Fucking make it a house show touring fucking some bullshit.
Or maybe if a guy's good enough, why send him to NXT? Like, why is fucking Walter in NXT? Why was Keith Lee in NXT? Frankly, why was Drew McIntyre in NXT? He would be he would have been where he is today a year ago if he didn't have to go through NXT.
I'll tell you this, Walter to me is so good that, okay, if he doesn't want to leave Germany, let's put him on a part-time schedule. Okay? Yeah. He's going to be 4 pay-per-views a year. He's going to be a special attraction. He's going to be somebody special. He could be a champion and work a Lesnar schedule if they booked him right. Why the fuck not?
He absolutely could. And the thing is, he's got a ready-built stable. He's got fucking Imperium. He's got his fucking group of people that could act as his liaisons and act as fodder for to get to him. You have to beat him to get to Imperium. You could have them go up, and that'd be his in-between when he's not there. But he has call him Ring Conf again. Fuck it. Call him the fucking the Third Reich. Why not?
It's like we're talking about fucking, we don't have top guys to feud with fucking Reigns or McIntyre or whoever. There's an embarrassment of riches.
Will be so fucking good.
Oh fuck. But there's an embarrassment of riches that WWE has. They have 80% of all the wrestlers in existence that are good. They have everyone. They've cannibalized the indies to the point where there's no one left. They have everyone under contract sitting around doing fuck all.
I mean, I'm not the biggest Dragunov fan, but fucking Ilya Dragunov is just as good as Daniel Bryan of a wrestler. Throw him in there with Roman Reigns. Why the fuck not? He'll come over. It won't be a great match because he's so small, but you can fucking make it work. Fuck.
Why is Aleister Black sitting around doing nothing when he could fucking have a 3-month program with a world champion?
Yeah. Andrade's asking for his release because they didn't do anything with him, and Andrade was fucking a great wrestler. He was awesome. He was built. He was big. He had a great presence and poise about him. If you put a mask back on him, he'd be fucking nearly perfect for their main event scene. But there's tons of guys they just don't do anything with. But you're right, Walter should be a top guy, and Walter's going to be at TakeOver this year again. But did you ever watch the NXT UK Walter vs. Dragunov match? Did you watch that at all?
I wanted to watch it, and I had it lined up in my player on the network a few times, and I just never got around to watching it. But from what I understand, it's an amazing fucking match. From what I understand, everybody praises it.
It's your style of match. It's your fucking style of match. It's a fucking big hoss fight. There's some flippy stuff, but it's mostly just guys just hitting each other. It's great.
But I like it when the big guys can do the flippy shit. I think it's so impressive when a big guy can do it. It's amazing. When you see a little guy do it, I've seen a little guy do it so many fucking times. I don't know. But I would like to see Walter have a prominent position.
Yeah.
I don't care what they have to pay him, what sort of schedule they have. Vince, just fucking do what's right by the fans. Like, give us these matches. What the fuck?
Oh, breaking news. 2 breaking news stories as we were on the show. I talked about Andrade.
Andrade's been fired.
Just got released. And as well, Batista no longer going into the Hall of Fame.
He's going to AEW apparently.
I don't know. Maybe he like signed up with. You know what I think? I think he signed a contract with a company that's like opposed to Universal or something, and now Peacock is pissed. Like he's like doing a film contract with something. That's what I think.
What the fuck? What franchise was he in for Universal?
I don't know, but there's my guess is something at the higher up. That was like some kind of executive decision, not like an actual.
It's just fucking retarded. Batista is a Hall of Famer compared to a lot of the people they have in the Hall of Fame. I know it doesn't fucking mean anything, but come on. I mean, holy fuck. They put who in, like these fucking jabronis. Like, didn't they put Jeff Jarrett in the Hall of Fame now?
Well, you know what? You can argue it all you want, but in terms of wrestling history, Jeff Jarrett's one of the most important people in the entire history of wrestling. Fucking created TNA. He was the guy he was the leader of the second company in wrestling for a decade. It was his company, right?
Is it the WWE Hall of Fame or is it the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame? Because in WWE, Jeff Jarrett's not done shit, but I don't know, like the whole criteria of it's fucked.
I mean, I think it's
considering the history of wrestling.
If it's I think it's the Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame is what they consider it. I mean, they're fucking putting Eric Bischoff in there, which I mean, Eric Bischoff never had a WWE Hall of Fame really run in the Fed, but I mean, he did in WCW. You know, like.
Well, how hard would it be for them to actually just build a physical Hall of Fame location? Like, come the fuck on.
Yeah, that'd make sense. I would do it.
And even if it only like how much can it cost them? $1 million a year?
Not even
most.
Oh, it would cost $1 million to build the place, to lease it. If they put it in some like bumfuck nowhere and would say, "Oh, we'll put it in Georgia because it's the history of it," we'll throw it in some like dog shit neighborhood in Connecticut. Like who cares where it is? Just fucking put it somewhere.
Yeah, put it somewhere. Put it in Orlando is where they really ought to put it, where the Performance Center is and all this fucking shit.
Just put it next door.
And it's a big tourist area.
Put it next door to the Performance Center or somewhere in that area. I mean, I'm not sure how much land is to lease there, but
I don't know if they put it in the south somewhere. Like, how is it possibly going to be a loss? Like, maybe it will be a small loss for the company each year, but I don't think so. I think it would be profitable. I think people will pay to go there.
You put a bunch of fucking historic stuff, and then like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I went to that in Cleveland, and yeah, you get to see all of Elvis's and Michael Jackson's old outfits and all that cool stuff, and some David Bowie like guitars or whatever, and the Rolling Stones guitars. Put some old ring boots in there, and like Stone Cold's fucking waistcoat, and the Rock sunglasses and stuff, and like Mr.
$1 million belt, and they can have rooms that are like the set for Raw's War. And you can get your picture taken at
the Piper's Pit. Put up a Piper's Pit thing, why not? Put like there's tons of stuff you could do.
I don't know. When will we ever get it? Probably never. But if he could build a restaurant in Times Square and do the XFL, I mean, holy fuck. With what it cost him to do the XFL for 1 year, he could have done that Hall of Fame for 50 years or 100 years. Like, seriously. Holy shit.
I would like to go through, it would be nice to have like a wrestling history museum. Because so much of wrestling history you have to find out by reading some dog shit internet sites, There's no place where you can go and like really learn about the history of all of pro wrestling. I mean, obviously it'd be whitewashed and, pushed over. Not whitewashed, but like fucking washed over so to make Vince not look like a fucking monster when he bought out all of his competition. But the reality is all those territories were going out of business anyways. People like to forget about that and pretend that it wasn't the case. But, talk about the territories and the AWA and all this shit that's important, that I think it's an important thing that people need to know because it's an important form of entertainment. There's like dozens of film history museums, dozens of television history museums, like thousands of music history museums, but wrestling doesn't get jack shit.
It's a shame. It's a shame. Well, I guess that's probably it for tonight. Andrade's fired. I'm not really surprised.
He asked to get released, so it makes sense. I want to talk quickly. I know. Did you watch the Snyder Cut, bro? Did you see that?
Yes.
What'd you think?
Yes, it did. It's amazing.
It was
Tremendous. It's a
Manly
big
Matt was right.
improvement over the Whedon cut.
It
He
was.
was right. He was right all along. I just think it added. Honestly, it could have been longer. I would have liked it to be 6 hours long myself. I would have liked it to be another 2 hours.
No, fuck you. That sounds.
It should have been 6 hours long, buddy. They should have been 6 hours. They should have just look. They should have just given Snyder like $400 million and just told him, look, shoot the part where Darkseid comes, and let's make this 6.5 hours long.
Yeah.
Maybe 7 hours long, and just have it be the magnum opus.
Why not?
But as it is, like, we're left with our fucking dicks in our hands. Like, we're never gonna see a conclusion to any of this shit with Darkseid because it's never gonna fucking be made, and we're never gonna see Ben Affleck's Batman against Jared Leto's Joker. I mean, I don't know, that Leto Joker here. It was better than his previous performances. But it was still shit.
Pretty weak. I thought it was pretty fucking. I thought it was the weakest part of the whole movie, honestly. Besides Gal Gadot, of course, who's.
I liked Martian Manhunter being in it. Because for me, the Justice League that I watched as a kid is the Saturday morning cartoon from like 2003 that had Martian Manhunter as a regular member of the Justice League. So I thought it was cool to see him show up. Although it did kind of shit on Martha's character development in that scene. But whatever.
Marvin? Like Marvin the Martian?
No, Martha.
Oh, Martha, yeah.
Superman's fucking mother. Her character development got kind of shafted by that scene.
Right.
But I felt like the stuff with Steppenwolf actually made him character.
No,
he looked a lot better.
He did look better. I thought even they just made his eyes bigger and they made his suit like less like dog shit. They animated his suit a little bit better, but that was enough to do it. He had some great lines of dialogue, especially when like he was like mocking Wonder Woman for not saving her family from him. It's like, why didn't you come back to the Amazons and save them? What's wrong with you? That was good.
Yeah.
I was a big Teen Titans fan when I was a kid growing up. I'm not the Raven
Cyborg. I watched a lot of Teen Titans as well. I liked that show.
And
Teen Titans Go. But,
I thought Cyborg was. I think he's the main character of the movie. So I get like the actor being complaining that like, hey, what the fuck? We filmed all this stuff with me being the main character of this movie, and it's like not in the original cut. So I get where he was complaining about it because it's like, his arc is essentially not in the original cut. It's just not there. Like his whole thing.
It's shameful that Cyborg got his knee capped as he did in the original cut, because a lot of the stuff with him, like with his mother dying, and like the football scene, I thought was shot really well. I thought it was Kino. I thought it looked cool. There were a lot of things in the movie that were Kino that were like really cool, like visually. They looked great. Visually, it looked great.
The thing with it is, the whole thing, I think it's the best Kate movie since Spider-Man 2. In that, I think The Dark Knight and those movies are better, but they don't really feel like comic book movies. They just feel like, action, thriller.
A lot of people shit on the 4:3 ratio, but I'll tell you, I think the reason it's in 4:3 is because it's meant to look like comic book panels. That's what I thought he was going for.
Well, kind of. The actual reason is those cameras that they used is some insider knowledge. You may not give a shit, but basically every movie is filmed in 4:3.
Is shot in 4:3, and this is his original, authentic vision. I get that. It's supposed to be Zack Snyder's Justice League, and this is the most authentic presentation of it. But I've come up with my own headcanon code.
It sounds
which
better.
Is that.
Well, no,
it's that it's the comic.
It's not just his thing. It's like every movie is shot in 4:3, and they cut it to 16 right now because that's how the film strips work. They're squares.
I watched it with RJ. He didn't even notice it was in 4:3. I asked him, what aspect ratio was it in? He had no fucking idea.
What aspect ratio?
What's the aspect ratio?
Because I didn't fucking point it out. I said, should I point this out at the beginning that it's in 4:3? He didn't fucking notice. Nobody fucking notices except autistic fucking people.
The only reason people notice it is because they make the big disclaimer at the beginning. Otherwise, no one would give a shit. You know what I want to do with it? I haven't tried it yet, but I'm going to put it on my CRT.
CRT.
So there's no borders. Oh, that'd be the Kino. Oh, the Kino.
It's gonna be the Kino. I don't know. Like, I thought it was well done.
I think that the Batman scene specifically, looked the most like the Batman comic books out of any movie interpretation of him. Like the spots where he's in Gotham and like doing this grapple hook and like the lightning and stuff, it looked like he was Batman in a movie, which is more than because all the other interpretations of Batman have felt like thriller movies, and which is fine. I think that that's fine. I don't think everything, but this felt like a real comic book into a movie. Whereas a lot of the Marvel movies, or even some of the Nolan Batmans, or even some of the other like Ghost Rider: Spirit of Vengeance, or whatever the fuck. Like these don't feel like comic books in the movies; they just feel like movies based on comic books. Where it just felt like.
And I liked there was more Alfred in it as well. There was some extra scenes of
nice.
Alfred, and I liked Jeremy Irons' Alfred a lot.
I like Ben Affleck Batman. Honestly, I never thought I would like it, but Ben Affleck Batman is very good.
He didn't like Alfred because Alfred's not old enough. Is Surfer's take?
That's fair.
The age difference between Alfred and Batman is kind of fucked up because like they're about the same age almost, really, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like Alfred's only like 10 years older, so.
Maybe I think Jeremy Irons is actually quite a bit older than Ben Affleck. I think it just doesn't show. That's the problem.
Yeah,
he
just looks show that he's that old.
He actually is that old, but he's just actually like eternally youthful because of all the blood he sucked from children. But what can you do?
I liked him. I thought he was a good fucking Alfred. I like this Batman a lot, and I think it's a shame that there will never be a Ben Affleck Batman. I don't know what the fuck they got to do. Bring him back. Give him control. If they had given Affleck directorial control and let him make his vision, it would probably be really fucking good. Yeah. I'm just saying.
I think because this ended on such a cliffhanger, I'm almost positive they're using this as a way to re-jumpstart these Justice League movies, and they're gonna do more with him. Mostly because they've invested too much into Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman at this point and the Aquaman. But they're going to do sequels to all these other movies, right? So why is there not going to be more Ben Affleck with Justice League? What I think they should be doing with the DC movies, and I thought this from the beginning, there should be a mainline Justice League series with all these characters, but they should have multiple spin-off movies where any actor, anything can go. Like, they should have, like, comic books and shit where, like, anything fucking goes. Like, they should do my idea with, even if we can't get Adam West, they should do a 60s-style Batman movie again. They should do...
Oh, they absolutely should. Because, like, they have it already in their branding, Elseworlds. Like, that's DC's branding, the Elseworlds brand, where they do one-shots. And that's what Joker was like. They did, like, a one-shot with Joker. And it was highly successful because they took a risk.
They're doing another Batman one-shot with Robert Pattinson, which hopefully will be good. I don't know. Robert Pattinson got a lot of points with me for The Lighthouse, but I'm not sure if that'll recover him from Twilight completely. But then they're going to do another Batman Joker sequel with a different Batman. It's going to be Ryan Gosling as Batman. It's like...
What?
Yeah. Did you not hear that?
They're doing Gosling as Batman?
Yeah, because it's fucking incel Joker versus Chad Batman. Okay. You know?
I don't think Joker should have a sequel myself, but if they are going to do that with Ryan Gosling as Batman, it could be Kino. I really like Ryan Gosling because he was in Drive, which is one of the greatest films.
He's literally me. Made. He's literally me, bro.
He's me. He's me, bro. He's me. So I like Gosling because of his appearance in Drive. He'll always be my boy.
Unironically, me too. But like, I think that's an interesting like he's like the king of the king of fucking TV, and now Joker and him. I think that'd be a Kino movie. Honestly, that'd be pretty.
Hollywood God's issue is this isn't the Batman from the comic books, or this isn't like faithful to the comic books. Like, look. Motherfucker, not everything has to be faithful to Michael Keaton or to the comic, but like we can do different versions. We have the Keaton Batmans already. Nobody can take the Keaton Batman away from you, but can we see it a different way? And that's why I didn't have an issue with Snyder, because it's like, let's see it a different way. Let's see Superman in a darker way. Let's see a Batman who kills. Let's see this.
Yeah.
Let's see it. Why the fuck not?
I don't like the killing part of the Snyder movie with Batman, but at least it works better in this movie because he's killing aliens. It's like, whatever. But it doesn't really matter because, in Justice League, everyone else kills people in Justice League, so why doesn't Batman? That's why I said they should keep these mainline Justice League movies as their own thing. The problem is people have in their heads from these Marvel movies where, like, the cinematic universe, like, everything has to be consistent and the same. When the reality is, it should all just be different interpretations every time. And people will be just fine with that. And it's worked with Joker. It's worked with the Aquaman and the Wonder Woman movies. It could work with this. And I think they're going to make more Justice League sequels. I think they're very clearly making more.
I hope so. I don't know if it's ever going to get... Because it's a bunch of money to put into it. And the future of all blockbusters, I think, is uncertain right now because they can't recoup these investments until the theaters are back open.
Yeah.
So for me, it's up in the air for me as to whether we'll get a follow up on this or not. I sure hope so. I sure do hope so. But the Snyder Cut I thought was really fucking good.
I did too.
And it'd be a
And
shame.
I was
shame if we didn't get one.
I was surprised that I liked it because I was expecting to go in that I wouldn't like it. I was prepared to not like it, and I actually enjoyed it. So it was a pleasant surprise. I think it's even if you don't like it.
I love Batman versus Superman. Like for me, I love Batman versus Superman. I loved Man of Steel.
And I didn't. And I did not like. I actually liked the first half of Man vs. Steel. I didn't like the second half. I actually really like the first half where he's on Krypton. I like that a lot, actually. Didn't like Batman vs. Superman basically at all, but I really like this movie. And I think it's really interesting. I think it's one of the most interesting movies to like come out maybe ever. Like the fucking way it's already cut and like how much more it's different it is.
Yeah. I don't know. With the Batman, and I don't know, we got to eventually wrap up. But with Batman and Batman versus Superman and Justice League, the reason why I like it is because it's explained why Batman has fucking snapped. Like, there's a few things. One, you see that Robin is dead in this universe. So Joker has killed Robin, and he snapped from that. But also it shows that he was made to feel powerless. He was made to feel like he felt when he was a boy and his parents died by Superman's, overpowering instinct. And you see, like, I like it, like the 9/11 parallels in, the opening scene and how he's like paralleling Dick Cheney with it. There's even a 1% chance this guy, and it's like he's embodying like that post, 9/11 war on terror America where there is no rules anymore. We are torturing, we are doing this, but there's a redemption for him in the end because he recognizes what he's become. And, when Superman does say Martha to him.
You sold it on me. It was Kino. You're right.
Because but it brings him back to when he was a boy and his mother died. And he realizes that he is doing this to Superman, like what that guy who killed his parents did to him. Yeah. And it humanizes him as well. I don't know, like I think the movie really fucking works. And a lot of people don't.
I think especially I think the new cut of Justice League reinforces that because in that movie he's like way after that. He's like the whole thing is like he's on faith. He's like become like basically a born again Christian essentially. He's completely gone from total pessimism to fucking optimism because of what happened with Superman having to go through that arc. So the effects of that arc in that movie are shown in the next movie. And the thing is, with the Justice League movie, what I really liked is that there was arcs for basically every character. Besides, I think Batman and Wonder Woman, mostly because they have their other movies, but Flash had a great fucking arc. The villain had a pretty great arc. Cyborg had one of the best arcs I've seen in a comic book movie in a long time, and it was very good. Someone's asking, is Superman your favorite hero?
No, I think it's got to be Batman.
Me too. It's Batman.
Myself.
I think basically everyone who's into Kino thinks Batman's the best from what I've seen. Right? Like,
well, Batman's had the best movies of any superhero. I think it's pretty undisputed at this point that whether or not you think that Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy or the Keaton Batmans, some people might argue for Spider-Man 2. I don't think Spider-Man 2 reaches the levels of the Dark Knight, in my opinion.
I liked Spider-Man 2 because more, as like I said before, it feels more like a real comic book movie where it feels like it's like an adaptation of a comic book to the screen. Yeah. Dark Knight's more of a thriller. But I mean, Batman's been more consistent.
Dark Knight brings in a lot of philosophical ideas too. Like the Dark Knight is trying to explore deeper themes about, the nature of the criminal justice system and, should the individual become a vigilante and like the terrorist stuff with like the Joker. And again, it harkens back to Bush and like the Patriot Act for me, where Batman uses surveillance to defeat an enemy that goes outside of all the rules, And right. I like those more philosophical flourishes to the cape shit.
And that's
try and bring it some depth.
Batman's really the one who does that best. But I think, specifically, Dark Knight's really more of a political thriller or like a high stakes thriller that it feels like a fucking cape shit to me. That's why I don't consider it like a traditional comic book movie. But then you also think, Joker is technically Batman, so you have to include the new Joker movie, which is up there with some of the better cape shit movies,
And Batman also had, and I think the reason why he's a lot of people's favorites is he had an amazing cartoon. Batman animated series is so fucking good. And that's a lot of people get first introduced to the superheroes by those cartoons. And if you get those
it was
cartoons.
one of the better ones. I mean, it was that, the original X-Men series, and then that Batman anime series spawned a bunch of sequels. I mean, that's where Batman Beyond comes from. That's where Teen Titans comes from, is that team that worked on Batman the Animated Series. And both of those are very good shows. I mean, Teen Titans that I grew up on, because I'm actually, like, too young to have, like, watched the Batman the Animated Series when it was debuting, but I watched a couple of reruns of it, but I watched Teen Titans all the fucking time when I was a kid. It was one of my favorite shows.
Well, I mean, we're about the same age. I think I'm only a year or two older than you are. But, like, I did see, like, they had Batman the Animated Series on a bunch on the Canadian television channels.
Yeah.
And they also had Teen Titans was coming out brand new. And Justice League was coming out brand new. And these shows, I thought, were fantastic. And they formed more so my love for the superhero stuff than the comic books themselves, which, to be perfectly frank with you, I was never a big reader of comic books.
By the time I would have wanted to read comic books, they were too expensive for kids to go read. The problem with all these comic books and stuff, the entire comic book industry, I don't want to get too much into it, is that once they got above $1 per issue, it was fucked. Because then kids can't just pick up quarters or pennies off the street and go buy a comic book. They have to actually work to pay for them. They ask their mom and dad. It wasn't like cheap entertainment. Like, once anything gets above, I mean, like, the inflation's one thing, but once anything gets above $1, it outprices it from children being able to buy it with their own money, I feel.
Yeah, so I never really grew up with comics. The only comic books I actually read, really, as a kid, I read The Odd Batman, but it was mostly Sonic the Hedgehog, was the comic book series that I followed, which is a bit autistic and cringe.
That's fucking ironic. That's why you're...
But like, I know all the Sonic the Hedgehog lore. I know it better than most people, but I don't know, like, with some people who are Sonic fans, they just lose their fucking minds completely, and Sonic becomes all there is. It's a monomaniacal obsession. Mm-hmm. Whereas, I don't know, I read those comic books, and I thought they had a decent storyline to them, and, I liked them, but I'm not obsessed with it to this fucking day. It's Sonic, fuck.
Right.
But
I actually didn't. I grew up on manga at the library because I didn't ever buy books. My parents, I would sometimes buy books, but my mom was a librarian, so I would just go and get books from the library all the fucking time. So what they had for comic books in the library, they had a couple graphic novels, but it was mostly manga. There was a kids manga section where they had fucking Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon and shit, and Cardcaptor Sakura, and that's what I read for my comic fix because I could go rent them from the library and bring them back. I didn't have to pay for them. That was base at the time.
And I think that's how I ended up reading Scott Pilgrim, which was probably... Oh, Scott Pilgrim wasn't the first manga or comic book I read. It was Watchmen was the first one that I read that was in, like, a book form.
Yeah.
I read Watchmen and then V for Vendetta, and then it was probably Scott Pilgrim. But that was like 2009, 2008. I was young to be reading those fucking books.
Yeah, that was big. I watched Watchmen when I was pretty young too. It was fucking long.
My mom let me go see it in the theater when I must have only been like fucking like 13 years old.
Big blue dick.
She didn't sit there and watch it with me. She had no fucking clue.
Yeah.
The one that she did sit and watch with me that she was rattled about was Friday the 13th, the 2009 remake.
Oh, yeah.
Where the opening scene is like this girl getting fucked in the tent. Oh, was she ever fucking pissed?
Yeah,
we went and saw Friday the 13th. She was rattled.
Fuck.
Oh, shit. Anyway, that's probably it for 5 Pounds of Gunt this week.
Nice little extra discussion on comic books. I want to touch base. I spent a long time reviewing that, and I acted kind of facetious and angry at that because it was a fucking grueling experience doing the full 4 hours. But I guess I do worse on WrestleMania.
I'll tell you this. Fuck this. Honestly, the 4 hours to me and to RJ Surfer as well, he felt that the 4 hours it went by quick. It felt like it was. It felt like it wasn't 4 hours. It felt like 3 hours.
It was nice. The breaks in the middle, I took a break every time that there was a episode break to film a little quick review because that was the gimmick I was running with it, and that helped a lot. And it was well paced. Honestly, fuck it. But we should get going. Thanks for coming on, PPP. We'll see you next week. I don't know what the fuck we're just talking about Dynamite. Then I don't know if we want to watch anything else, but I don't think anything else is going on. I think maybe I'll watch SmackDown this week or something. But we'll see. Maybe I don't think I will.
I don't know.
I'm not going to.
No.
No.
All right.
See ya.
Peace out, buddy.